every single minute of it. Helldivers 2 is a huge breath of fresh air within the brain-rotting, input spamming, microtransaction, battle pass hell that modern gaming has slipped into. Having one of the best live service models we've seen like ever, and having a dev team with actual passion behind their projects, Helldivers 2 has become one of my favorite games of all time. Don't get me wrong, I know everyone and their dog's left nut has been talking about this game is game of the century, oh my god, this game, best game of all time. And you've probably seen basically every positive Helldivers 2 has to offer, and personally, I love seeing a game that already has somewhat positive community gain traction over the major COD installment, or whatever remake and remaster that some company has spat out recently. But rather than talk about how shit these other games are, I'm going to metaphorically meat ride this mechanical masterpiece. As a person who basically grew up with live service games like Chapters 1 and 2 of Fortnite, the early seasons of Apex Legends, as well as Overwatch basically on release, oh my god, I'm so old! It is really sad seeing companies I've supported for a large portion of my life slip into greed and mediocrity. So, with this video, I'm gonna yap for as long as I can about how wonderful this game is, and how I will happily throw as much money as I can at it, even though I've already paid full price. Firstly, one of the main critiques I see a bunch of people bring up regarding Helldivers is the shaky servers the game was using upon launch. The problem originally was due to people overloading the servers, as the devs had accounted on player counts similar to the first game, with a peak of around 10,000 players on launch, but it increased to around 50,000. The problem was, it was too fucking popular. People flooded the servers, me included, trying to get online, causing the devs to address the issues by increasing the capacity a few days later. Now, just imagine that the only main flaw of your game at launch was that it was too successful. The devs also took it a step further by having in-game messages about one of the enemy factions, the automatons, that were interfering with Helldiver deployments. Like, this genuinely made me so happy, seeing that the devs tried to take the hate on the chin and just accept the fact that, like, yeah, we didn't expect our game to be this popular, and then add an in-universe reason behind the issues. Like, that is so fucking cool! Speaking of the devs, another thing I love about Arrowhead Games is that the devs are just gamers who understand the community and what they want from video games like this. One of the main facts of Helldivers that I fucking adore is the fact that friendly fire is just always on. And trust me, if you've played for as long as I have, you know that that shit is fucking hilarious. The devs were already getting some flack about friendly fire being enabled, mostly from IGN, because all the people who review their games are fucking dog shit at playing games, and the devs were literally just like, no, it's funny. And holy fuck, that is such a hilarious response. Like, just imagine this big professional company talking to like one of the biggest game reviewers on the planet and just being like, hey, we think you should remove this feature, we think it's kind of stupid, and then Arrowhead just going, why? It's hilarious. Now, compare this to a game I genuinely have no respect for anymore, Overwatch 2. I could yap for hours about how much I despise Blizzard for its inability to not assault women in the workplace, and also pump out shit games, but this shit hit deep, bro. When Overwatch 2 was first announced, I was hopeful. I was a diehard fan, I had fucking Funko Pops, comics, keychains, whatever. I loved Overwatch, and I was so excited for the game to come out. But guess what? The game had server issues on launch as well. The only difference is that people legit couldn't get in. In Helldivers, some players had issues logging in for the most part. You could somewhat reliably stay in the game for as long as you wanted. Compared to Overwatch, having an infinite budget thanks to Blizzard, couldn't have a reliable server for the game launch they knew would have old and returning fans returning to the franchise. Now eventually, the servers did get fixed, but the only response was, we're very sorry, we're trying to fix the servers, please be patient. But like, what the fuck did you expect, Blizzard? Legit Game of the Year winner in 2016 was getting a sequel from one of the largest game studios in the fucking world, and you didn't prepare for this? Just like, what the fuck were you thinking? This could have been peak Overwatch again, I swear to God. All you have to do is buff Ryan, and I'm gonna be fucking, I'm gonna bomb headquarters. Anyway, another notable reason why people love Helldivers 2 regarding their live service model is battle passes within other games have become much harder to earn for free. In Fortnite, you can still earn V-Bucks to purchase cosmetic items from the free track in the battle pass, but with seasons becoming much longer, it forces people to spend money or save for long periods of time, which is something basically impossible due to them shitting out collabs every other week. This somewhat forces the players, sadly me included, to spend money on battle pass, although they were free to earn. The fact that the game somewhat limits your earnings per season, kind of like the fucking government sending you stimulus checks, it just forces players to spend so much more fucking time thinking about what the hell they want to buy instead of just, I can save for this and buy it right away. Helldivers, however, lets you earn premium currency by finding it in the fucking game. Not to mention that it is also in the free and premium battle passes, allowing you to collect more currency to buy both cosmetics and new battle pass, which never fucking expire. They don't go away. They're there forever. Holy fuck. How is this not the norm? I don't want to treat the new Fortnite or Apex season like a goddamn 9 to 5 just to unlock the funny demon guy from Fortnite, okay? Not to mention, games like Overwatch 2 and Halo Infinite legit just don't award the player with premium currency from the battle passes. Like, sure, you get cosmetics, but you'll gain so much more money if you just allow players to cycle their fucking battle passes. Then later, they'll feel more rewarded and just use real money on cosmetics. The game creates short and sweet battle passes consisting of around 3 weapons, 3 armor sets, and various cosmetics, while being free to earn completely. And the good thing is about these battle passes is that they're very often themed, and when they are themed, the themes work so fucking well together. Like, oh my god, Democratic Demolition was literally one of their main fucking suits was a guy in black and red, which is sick because that's kind of what you associate explosions with, the big black smoke and the red explosion. On top of one of the fucking armor sets literally being based off like a bomb suit, and it's so fucking cool. And the weapons also all exploded. Grenade pistol, explosive fucking sniper rifle, explosive crossbow. Like, oh my god. I guess other games kind of do the same thing fairly well. Like Fortnite in like chapter 1 was great with their themed battle passes, like superheroes, desert people, fucking Wild West bullshit. And then they did like the Greek mythology thing a few months ago. But like other games like Apex and COD literally just make battle passes purely for the money. Like, when was the last time pre like season 10 of Apex you looked at a battle pass and went, yeah, this shit's fucking gas? Like, there's no passion, there's no aggression, there's no fucking mindset, bro. It's just, hey, here's some cosmetics, give us money, give me money. And it pisses me off because these used to be cool and now they're just absolute mediocre garbage. Okay. Okay, I'm kind of peeking the mic a little bit, but honestly, I'd rather prefer. What the fuck is happening? Can I speak English? I'm gonna hop in the time machine a little bit and head back to March 2006, the release of Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. With this game, upon release, there was purchasable DLC for a set of horse armor, allowing your companion to be all gold and shiny, and it would cost $2.50 plus taxes, of course. And get this, people lost their fucking mind. Like, oh my god, this is so greedy. I don't care about a skin for a single player game. Oh my god, too expensive. Like, okay. It was one of the first paid cosmetic DLCs of the time, and maybe $2.50 was expensive back then, but it set a trend of microtransactions. Remember, microtransactions were skins in various games that come post-release of Oblivion, and they had similar prices to this, whereas skins in older COD games and fucking games like Titanfall 2, they range from like $1 to $10. However, when you have games charging people $15 to $30 for one skin or character that people are only mildly upset about, what the actual fuck, especially COD, oh my god, $90 full price game that has Battle Pass, Seasonal Battle Pass, every single week they have an updated item shop and everything is like $300. They made a fucking fist from Godzilla x King Kong, The New Kingdom. It was a melee skin and it was like more than going to see the fucking movie. Like, what the hell? Same with Apex Legends. They were charging people $200 for a death box and melee skin from like Final Fantasy and shit. Like, okay, the game is free, but that's for a skin and people are still buying it. Why are people not complaining? Like, they just go, oh man, this kind of sucks, I'm gonna do it anyway. Again, Helldivers 2 keeps the micro and microtransactions so fucking well, with skins ranging from literally like $1 to $4. And if you don't get a chance to actually buy the skin you want, you can just wait for it to come back in like a week or so, because the item shop has a preset rotation compared to like Fortnite, which is just like 10,000 pages of just stuff and you don't even know when it's gonna come back or not. When this is literally, you can just go online, check, hey, when is this skin coming back, and then it'll say like probably at this time, and then it stays in there, and then it'll come back same time. Like, holy fuck. This is why people praise Helldivers. It's because they understand what microtransactions are meant to be. Micro. When they have people paying upwards of $30 per skin after paying $80 to $90 for their game is a horrible model that people are slowly starting to break away from. Especially with like AAA slop titles like Modern Warfare 3 Remake and Mortal Kombat 1. The devs have also decided the game to be half price, $50. Which not only makes more accessible for people who don't have to drop $90 on a game that they'll think they'll play for a while, but they keep premium currency earnable to keep the low-cost microtransactions justifiable. Like, I already bought Helldivers 2 twice actually, once on my PC, once on my PS5, and I've dropped like maybe $20 on super credits since like February total. And the devs I don't care. I don't care. It was cheap. It was a course of like 4 months. I don't fucking care. The devs understand what people want from microtransactions, and I will fully support it. If this service does not prove to benefit Arrowhead more than it already has, maybe, although unlikely, another game studio may implement similar transaction prices. I doubt that this would ever happen, as prices for both games and microtransactions have increased drastically. Also, another bullshit practice that has taken over AAA slop world of gaming is the difference between standard and premium and ultimate or whatever the fuck upgrade the devs offer nowadays that literally doubles the retail price of their game. To be fair, Helldivers 2 is guilty of this, having a $30 digital upgrade for the game that includes like cosmetic items, exclusive weapon, blah blah blah. I can genuinely excuse Helldivers for this because the main reason I want the upgrade isn't because it's like the cool weapon or the cool title, it's because of fucking Stratagem Hero, bro. Addictive ass mobile game ass fucking game console in your ship, and it's just fun. But like every other game that has the premium upgrade, it's literally like expandable day one DLC that they could have just included anyway. Early access that makes no fucking sense because you could have just released the game on that day anyway and just induced FOMO for more money, and then they just make it like double the price because it's like, ooh, a skin. It's so fucking stupid. Another reason I can also excuse the fucking premium upgrade in Helldivers is because it started at $50, so even with the premium edition, it is evenly matched with everyone else in the competition. Not to mention, you could literally access the game at the same time as everyone else, which for some reason is becoming less of a common factor, with games charging their players double the price for Premium Edition with like 3 days of early access. This happened recently too, for no goddamn reason, with games like fucking Slopfield and Mortal Kombat 1, and even Star Wars Outlaws, bro! Star Wars Outlaws is so guilty of this! They're charging people $150 fucking dollars for a few days of early access. Like, sure, you get a few other benefits, but like, if the game is ready to go on this day, you pretty much just make your players pay an extra $60 to $70 to get the game before everyone else. Like, holy fuck! Why do these companies have the scummiest business practices ever? And again, people are still going to buy it! What in this blue ball of rock gives people the inability to wait 3 fucking days for a game that they were already going to buy? I'd argue that Mortal Kombat 1 is even worse than this, charging players more money to get the game early, while having day one microtransactions, battle passes, and seasonal events in a full price game. Holy fuck. This one hurt me too, because I grew up playing like Mortal Kombat 9 and X on my Xbox One and 360, and it's just to see this is fucking sad. Like, Helldivers 2 has become the most consumer-friendly model, having an optional non-FOMO inducing premium edition and being at a lower price while still being a better game than literally all of these fucking $90 titles is such a relieving sight. Another gameplay element that Helldivers 2 executes fucking perfectly is the involvement with its community. The main goal of Helldivers is literally liberate planets occupied by either the bots or the bugs in the name of democracy. Super Earth, General Brash, fuck these democratic sons of bitches. Okay, anyway. And is directly tied to the efforts of the players, with successful and failed missions affecting liberation percentages, and this is awesome. The fact that the community's failing mission can directly change the timeline of the war effort is one of the best executions of player involvement I've seen in a fucking gaming community, like, to my knowledge. I will say, I haven't seen a lot of games like this, like maybe they exist and I haven't played them, but this is the best way to get the community involved in your game. Like, this mechanic kind of reminds me of like the butterfly event a while ago in fucking Fortnite, where people got to vote you got to like to vote which item you wanted unvaulted, and people chose the fucking drum gun, by the way, which is stupid, because it should have been the bouncer. The bouncer is so much cooler. But people love the idea of the community changing the current state of the game. This is exactly what Helldivers 2 does, with major events and challenges changing the community progression timeline. For instance, a while ago, there was literally an event that the bots were taking over a planet solely responsible for the creation of the mech suit that dropped like last month or so. Super Earth High Command told its soldiers that the planet must be liberated in 2 days or else the mechs would be released at a later date. We liberated that shit in 12 hours. This is how you get your community involved, bro, is you make them feel like their gameplay makes a difference. And I know this can be hard for other games to achieve, but Helldivers 2 only has the advantage because it is what the game is centered around. If these companies can learn from this, it would help restore the relationship between the devs and players that has been really fucking rocky in the gaming community recently, dude. Holy fuck. I will say this though, Helldivers 2 does have a slight FOMO problem, but the thing is, it's not FOMO in the way that other games do it, where it's like cosmetics you can't buy right away. It's like, oh, I didn't play the game back then, I couldn't buy this thing and get this skin. Helldivers 2 is basically, damn, I wasn't playing the game then because I didn't fucking have it, so I didn't get to experience this really cool mission, like the black hole that was created over Meridia, or, you know, the complete wipeout of the bots a few months ago before their big retake of the top territories. That's the only thing that Helldivers kind of suffers from, is they don't really have a set way of giving people who missed out on the opportunity to play specific missions an opportunity to try them again. Like some mission types are kind of similar and they'll implement the same kind of elements, but at the end of the day, some missions like the dark matter drill to create the full black hole or the termicide defense towers, like if you weren't playing the game back then, sorry, you didn't really get to experience the mission. But again, it's kind of an excusable thing, because it's not like, oh, if I want my fucking account to have this skin, I have to play now or I won't ever get it. It's like, damn, if I want to play this mission that seems really cool, I can literally just play it because I have the game. It's not like, damn, I have to get on this game that I already bought or I got for free or whatever, and then spend money to then not feel left out. It's like, okay guys, you want to fucking turn this planet into a black hole real quick? Yeah, I'll be on at 5. Like, it's so fucking, it's so easy and it's so cool and it's so much better than like literally every other game, because everyone hates the fucking devs because the devs can't make games. Anyway, I know this is kind of just like a rant session, but overall, I want to end the video by saying this. You're allowed to play whatever fucking game you want. I understand that a large portion of the casual gaming community that makes up a good population of like the Call of Duty side and like the over competitive Fortnite side is most people that have like come home from work or school or something like that, and they just need something that they think is fun and they need to unwind with. You are allowed to play whatever game you fucking want from any franchise you want, as long as you enjoy it. I purely made this video to try and explain why people are shilling and meat riding Helldivers so much. It's the fact that games are coming out, getting insanely negative reception, and then still making money. So at the end of the day, the developers would literally not change their ways because they see that it is still working. There are still games that have come out fairly recently that were pretty fun from large developers, like The Finals, even though it kind of fell off, and Tekken 8, which still has a very large dedicated community. But I wanted just to share how much modern gaming has fallen into just this massive pit of greed, and Helldivers is just a really, really nice reminder of what gaming once was. I understand that not every single game, they don't need to be Game of the Year contender every single time, but it would be nice if developers and corporations could just stay away from these greedy tactics and still play whatever game you want. I'm just a guy telling you what I think is one of the best games ever made. Play what you want, just enjoy the time you spend playing it. And yeah, that's about it for me. Thanks for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed. This game has absolutely consumed.
We've waited over 7 months for tangible new content in Payday 3, and the entire community's been going stir crazy with weekend plan cancelling memes as this DLC update has been held up like the saviour of heister kind. So what's the verdict now it's finally in our hands? It's alright. I'm not sure it was worth cancelling my wedding for, but well. In all seriousness, I think Boys in Blue has actually been placed in a tricky spot, with almost all of its initial marketing being fan-driven. The fact it has failed to live up to that hype for me shouldn't be the greatest criticism, but my emerging reputation as a permanent negative Nancy has given me a bit of breathing room to be more objective when tackling new content to the game. It's impossible to make a video that brings the dead gamers together alongside the We Are So Back brigade, but to be honest, for the lovers and haters of Payday 3, this update has something for everyone. Clover is astonishingly well done. The DLC weapons are insanely polished and pretty well balanced. Boys in Blue is a compelling heist with excellent narrative build-up, solid design for shootouts, and offers a genuine challenge unlike any other heist in the game. However, at the same time, it's small scale, low stakes, and fundamentally extremely simplistic, both in loud and stealth. It seems as though the team just can't capture the magic set pieces of old Payday with Unreal, which feels crazy to suggest. Overall, it's a solid update, and at its reduced price, I can abide by the DLC much more than I could with Syntax Error back in 2023. But for what's been heralded as a flagship update and turning point for the game, it was always gonna be a bit of a Sisyphean task. I'm hoping to see a lot more from Land of the Free, likely next month, which fortunately this update sets up impeccably. Initial impressions out of the way, let's now delve into the details of the update to discuss what it does so well in some areas but where it fails in others, starting of course with the heist itself. Boys in Blue is a Vlad contracted daytime hit on a fully staffed police station in Brooklyn. It's expertly introduced by Vlad, who's later joined in the conversation by the returning Clover. The character dynamics and voice acting in the cutscenes surrounding this heist are on another level for me, with this being the first heist I can really think of in Payday 3 that has a very clear and logical context, whilst also linking to the wider story. Vlad's legitimate cash for gold business, which really exists to launder money, has been raided after a crooked cop set him up, with all the gold at his premises being seized as evidence. He wants it back from the evidence room, and the Payday gang are willing to assist, as through his bent cop, Vlad has a lead on Concord, the ex-Murky Water CEO and mastermind behind the assassination attempts on the crew. Clover's back on board as she's also working through Dragon and Vlad to avenge her new gang over in Ireland, who were fatally caught in the crossfire when the assassins came for her. It's actually compelling and makes sense. What this heist also does very well from the off is nail the atmosphere, both inside and outside the precinct. The moody surrounding streets, running trains, and dingy station itself are ideal environments for gunfights or tense sections. Starting off with my preferred approach to heisting, going loud, this one is a really mixed bag. It's a relatively small map size, well-treaded setting, and simplistic objectives don't bring much new to the table, but as I've already mentioned, the actual play space and cop spawns are well designed. This leads to it feeling more like a fun playground heist to test builds on than a genuinely compelling co-op experience. To be clear, this isn't necessarily a bad thing, although I still believe it's indicative of Starbreeze avoiding that multi-act heist formula which has worked so well in the past. This one really can be boiled down to find some explosives, attach a winch to the vault door, give the truck extra power, loot the vault, and steal a car for the getaway. 3 of these 5 objectives are in the wait and defend category, so when you peer past the smoke and mirrors, you quickly realise this heist boils down to defending glorified drills with a new lick of paint. Outside of grabbing some car keys from a safe, you can actually complete this entire heist without really leaving the car park, which is a shame because exploring and getting into gunfights in these varied environments is really what Boys in Blue does best. To try and encourage loud players inside on the upper floors, there is an optional hack objective which leads to some really enjoyable combat scenarios, but just like with No Rest for the Wicked's bonus intel, this serves no gameplay purpose within the build we played. I'm told it should have a reward in the future. Regardless, I found myself doing it anyway just to switch up the gameplay, moving from detailed interior corridor sections which favour close quarters builds, to exterior parking lot gunfights out in the open with multiple rooftop spawns that lean into AR and sniper playstyles. It's tightly designed, but as I feared from my initial impressions, the heist just doesn't do anything special outside of placing you in satisfying combat scenarios and telling you to have fun on your own. It's slightly reminiscent of No Mercy, where the fun is front-loaded into the madness of the combat, but the tasks around just staying alive are innately uninspiring. I'm generally a fan of its spawn logic though, and see this as an area of massive improvement since Syntax Error. The primary loot type being gold is cool and ties well into the narrative, whilst also preventing you from sprinting with it, even with transporter skills, adding another element of difficulty. Speaking of that difficulty, I'm not sure there's a heist in the game as challenging as Boys in Blue when going loud on overkill. It can be brutal. This is partially due to its intense spawn logic, especially around the vault, and the fact that it often encourages you to hold out in one location, allowing the cops to properly swarm you, instead of being run in circles. I also think it has something to do with the timing of the final charge, and how these sit and wait objectives control the pace of the heist, so you can't just speedrun through objectives and escape before things fully ramp up. To me, the added challenge is a selling point, although they make things even harder in this corridor before the evidence room by making it ludicrously reflective, virtually blinding you as you try to peer outside. The game generally has issues with locking out from the interior lighting sections, but this has to be the worst example of the problem in the game, and absolutely needs addressing, especially when it's so close to the heist's primary goal. I should also mention these neat little donut consumables that give you a full set of grip, rush and edge buffs for their normal duration. They're cute and I like them, but their gameplay relevance is slightly limited. Overall, if I had to put a number on it, I'd give Boys in Blue a 6 out of 10 as a loud heist. It's massively held back by its limited ambition, but still contains enough of that arcadey fun synonymous with Payday 2 to be worthy of your attention. Moving on to stealth, once again what it lacks in ambition and novel ideas, it makes up for in polish. It really does remind me of Breakfast in Tijuana in places. Everything is tightly designed from traversal to guard behaviour and pathing, leading to what feels like a well-tailored experience throughout. It can be completed with all loot completely maskless, which is always a fun challenge, leading well into Payday 3's newer stealth mechanics. You can really feel the risk-reward of masking up, and I think the choice to limit the number of secure areas on the map is to its benefit, allowing us to move more fluently throughout. It is a little ironic that the literal pigpen has less intense security protocols than the nightclub, but I suppose that says more about public services in the Payday universe than anything else. Not dissimilar from its loud counterpart, it's also very simple objective-wise. I enjoyed stealthing around the upper floor of the office, but waiting for various PC hacks and finding some fingerprints doesn't do a whole lot to engage you. The donut distraction is a lot of fun though, and things get better once downstairs, as you have to locate a keycard by following instructions from the hack PC and make your way into the evidence room. There's an interesting gimmick to this, where any wait beyond a single heister will lock the gate to prevent anyone from moving the loot back through, which can throw a spanner into the works in co-op, but generally just forces you to throw the gold through this panel and walk it out the other way. Dragging it over to the escape can be a bit of a pain, but it's a nice change of pace to be forced out in the open for a while after how claustrophobic the rest of the heist is. Sadly, RNG is still heavily limited, with room and objective spawns being the primary things to switch around, with the overall objective formula always being roughly the same. They still haven't worked out a robust system of randomness for heists, which will continue to limit their replayability. Interestingly, just like in Loud, stealth has a tricky
DTD
side
new
objective
actions
of
are
Loud,
available.
which
No
encourages more
explosives
exploration
spawn
for
dog
heists,
supply
which goes
explosives
similarly
bomb
unrewarded
blitz group
at the
dogs.
moment. These need to be better implemented because they are an interesting challenge, with this one seeing you place 3 listening devices across 3 locations to spy on the movements of the station's lieutenant. When I step back, at times, it almost feels like a test map for showcasing what stealth in Payday 3 does best, but also doesn't really bring any new ideas to the table. It also has the reverse problem of Loud, where the heist is almost entirely played in the station. Given its limited scope and relatively concentrated objectives, this heist is also sadly quite easy and brief once you get the gist of what you're doing, as it mostly just boils down to going from arrow to arrow and doing what you're told. There's not much room for creativity or sleuthing around, sadly. Even so, it is quite engaging and satisfying to clear mask off, so should be fun for at least the first few runs. For me, stealth is marginally better than Loud, so I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. It's also worth mentioning that this heist has comparatively solid hybrid stealth viability, as you can grab a few key items during stealth for use expressly in Loud, taking some pressure off when the spawns go a little crazy inside the offices. It's pretty satisfying to slip around the private areas even without stealth skills and see how far you can push it, which is another bonus for this heist. But even bigger than that, its music track is a world beater. It's got a certain vibe to it that just nails the setting, and has to be as close to a 10 out of 10 we've seen from Gustavo since Payday 3 came out. In terms of reward, it's not brilliant, with low cash payouts and solid but not amazing XP per minute, although that should be better once the additional objectives are working as intended. What I was impressed by though are the story beats that come with this one. Massive spoilers ahead for those who don't want to hear it, just skip forward about 30 seconds, but I'm sure every news channel will be shouting this from the rooftops once it goes live. The upshot of Vlad's intel is that Concord's holding a prisoner, the one and only Franklin Steele, better known as Houston. So, looks like Land of the Free will be the Houston breakout that's been teased since before launch, and we can expect him to be the 8th heister in the gang. Again, this reveal is pretty spicy, but those brief post-heist cutscenes are finally feeling like they're worth sitting through. That's the core of what Boys in Blue is all about, although the weapon DLC tends to be where I place most of my
cooldown
focus,
commands are
considering
now
the
active.
value of a bundle. Let's start by taking a look at the SMG, the MP5 or 80K7 as it's known in the game. This thing has got a great feel to how it handles. Its solid fire rate is paired with best-in-class recoil handling stats, making it easy to dish out a fair chunk of damage per second across most ranges. Its clear strength is in stability and accuracy, which just makes any weapon function better, meaning you'll probably get a kick out of using it, even if it can't pack the same punch as other SMG options in this slot. I get the feeling this could have been top tier prior to the cutting shot nerf, but even as it stands, the MP5 is a strong enough SMG with very solid close quarters damage and good enough control over range to pick targets off from distance. I love the sound and feel of it, but in practice, what it excels at is already done better by skills that are readily available in the game, so it's nothing numerically special, meaning that's a 6 out of 10 from me, despite still enjoying using it. Up next, We have the Adlerlig RG5, or G3, which is a new assault rifle with quite similar problems to the MP5. It feels entirely solid and capable, but not unique whatsoever, summing up my main gripe with this weapon pack in general. These guns are all quality, with excellent polish, but they don't bring much new to the game, are fundamentally bog-standard weapons, and almost feel like side grades in places. It has decent stopping power, somewhat akin to the AK, and does boast a combination of excellent control and manageable fire rate, so it's no surprise the two are statistically similar, with the G3 holding 5 more shots in a mag as standard, in exchange for slightly weaker overall stats. Worth looking into if you enjoy solid jack-of-all-trades assault rifles, but not a must-purchase with such an excellent alternative readily available. The Ballkick 500, a magnum that's essentially a hand cannon, is the first secondary slot DLC weapon in the game, and this one was worth the wait. It's powerful, fun, and unique, really the antithesis of the other safe weapons added to this DLC. Whilst it doesn't have half the SA's fire rate, it packs a similar punch even without precision shot, smashing through shields and their faceplates in a single shot. It kicks like a mule visually, in exchange for all that power, but doesn't feel that difficult to consecutively aim, especially with the 2x scope. It's not as consistent as other secondary options against standard enemy types, but it fits a utility on certain builds and is a fair standalone weapon if you plan to set up around it. Not needing to land consistent headshots is more of a boon than I first anticipated, giving it a real panic button niche for when in a pinch, dealing enough damage even without edge or supporting skills to land one-shots. With perfect play, you'll get more out of the Bison, but none of us are perfect, so I say embrace the body shot, if just for how satisfying this thing is to shoot. Sadly, it's not the dose destroyer I thought it would be, although all accounted for, it's still a top 8 out of 10. Overall, I think the revolver does a lot of the heavy lifting within this weapon pack, unless you have a particular affinity for the other classic weapons coming across from other games. They don't do enough to differentiate themselves in my opinion, although the animation team has done everything in their power to make all 3 weapons shine, with top tier inspect animations and reloads that go above and beyond what we've gotten used to within the franchise. Once again, I don't doubt the quality, just don't think I understand the decision making process that led to side grades already being added to the game when we're missing so many iconic weapon variations from the previous title. I personally think they've designed themselves into a corner with the overkill weapon system and hope they find a way to add more ambitious weapon types in the primary
DTD, a new vote has started.
Soon enough. Now, amusingly, after saying all of that, the best weapon added in this update doesn't cost a dime, which doesn't do much for the weapon pack's value proposition. The new LMG, the Leibspruter MX63, is a first-in-class powerhouse of a weapon that isn't overly damaging, but makes up for it with an excellent fire rate, ammo pickup, and mag size. These 3 stats combine to essentially break the weapon when paired with ammo funnel and replenish. You don't need to worry about cumbersome reload speeds when you can fire effectively forever. As long as you're killing, you won't need to stop. I don't like that it makes using combat reload a bit difficult, as that's my favourite way of sustaining edge and grit, with as little micromanagement as possible, so it doesn't fit into my preferred playstyle, but I've got to admit, it's still fun as hell. Taking a step back to talk performance, its DPS is solid and seems to do especially well against armour, but can't land one-shot kills. Of course, being an LMG, it comes with a fair bit of kick and muzzle flash, so probably not for the precision shooters out there, although few things mow through hordes of standard cops.
DTD voting is complete and the viewers have chosen Soldier Attack.
Or ADS builds, with the potential to become the strongest weapon in the game if the SA or precision shot gets nerfed. I think people will love it, even if it can be a little cumbersome at times. Onto another free edition that might not directly impact the gameplay, but it sure as hell makes the Payday franchise what it is. That's of course the return of Clover. Her design hasn't changed much from game to game, with an almost identical mask, although she's finally tying that purple streaked hair up these days to avoid it clipping all over the place. The all black with the 3/4 length coat has a funeral vibe about it, which is fitting as she's joining up with the gang hot off the heels of losing the crew she was leading back home on Ireland, which has left her jaded and hungry for revenge. She's the first character to give the conflict with Concord a bit of personality, and she brings that same energy into most of her voice lines. Honestly, regardless of any heist or tribalism, Aoife Duffin's performance in Payday 3 is up there with the best from Payday 2, even my boy Jimmy, who really is the gold standard for me. She's witty and authoritative, with some brilliantly written lines.
Hey, Hoxton.
Also brings a lot of emotion and intrigue to her involvement in story cutscenes. She also feels much more complete than the other heisters did, especially at launch, although I'm still holding out hope that Starby's obviously calling in the other voice actors to record context-specific lines. We'll finally get a few more realistic crew interactions soon enough. Of course, she's arrived in New York alongside the evolution of her signature weapon, the Queen's Wrath, carrying a Car 4 variant known as the Queen's Revenge, which certainly looks the part but is a bit clunky with its preset attachments. I suppose this is the difference between paid DLC character packs and free character editions, but I know which one I'd still vote for in the future. I also need to run you through the new cosmetics coming in this update, which is split into free and DLC unlocks. I won't be scoring any of these, bearing in mind taste is subjective, but overall I do think the outfits and masks are top quality, it's just a question of whether they appeal to your personal preferences. The masks are Killer K9, Mask Raider, Clown Punch and Clowninator. I think we're a bit spoiled for choice at the moment when it comes to great masks coming to the game via the Mask of the Week system, although these raw masks are quite nice and are fully customizable, as again Starbreeze have learned from their mistakes in the syntax era. The outfits, which each come with a matching pair of gloves, are Flight Risk, Jailbird, Riot Con and Supermax, with me having a surprise fondness for the base attire. I like the overall theme, but do think these could benefit from having colour palette swaps as they did in Payday 2. Oh, and the weapon pack also comes with the Bullion Bar and Cop Nut sticker, which might be worth the purchase just for its description. Moving on to the free masks, we have the Hooded Haunt, Vicious Warrior and Old Bob, as well as the new Pig mask once those drops are active. There are also 2 new mask patterns, 2 stickers and a weapon charm that can also be obtained by watching any Payday 3 streams on Twitch. But these are pretty much all DLC quality and are a welcome addition to the game. Finally, we also receive a new Shamrock charm to celebrate Clover's edition, alongside 12 major national flags that will assumedly be added to over time. And as seems to be the case in every new update at this point, new animations have also been added not only to get unique interactions on Boys in Blue, but also for actions like setting a thermite on SCB. Eventually, we'll have first-person animations for almost all interactions at this rate. This is a massive step forward from what the game launched with. Just further evidence that a 2024 release would have changed how Payday 3 is now perceived. It's also worth mentioning that the Solo Mode Beta and Special Edition Compensation Cosmetics should be included in this update, but weren't available for testing in partner builds. I shared my thoughts on this first iteration of offline in the last video I made, but the TLDR is that I think this is a solid step that displays a genuine attempt to make the game playable offline, but it's baby steps compared to what the community expects from a finalized version. When all said and done, in a different context, I'd probably be singing this update's praises, but after a 7-month content drought, it's important we use Boys in Blue as a solid stepping stone to greener pastures, and don't hold it up like the next coming of Christ. We should expect more from Starbreeze. They've started to prove they're capable of that, so I'm hoping the likes of the Land of the Free and Fear and Greed step things up to the next level, and finally begin to innovate and match the scope of the previous game, to start to repair Payday 3's shoddy reputation. Regardless, you're probably wondering if this is a DLC you should pick up, or if it's just worth trying out the game again after all the recent quality of life improvements. My no-frills answer is no to the former, yes to the latter. Payday 3 as an overall experience has improved quite drastically since December, but in my honest opinion, Boys in Blue is not a better DLC than Syntax Era, so unless you're a Gold or Silver Edition owner, your best bet is to try and hop in with friends or just grab the weapon pack separately, as that's where most of the DLC value is front-loaded. Boys in Blue is still a fine update. It's not a new timer, and there are plenty of lessons to learn from its failings, but at the very least it's worth checking out, especially if you already own the game. And genuinely as satisfying as seen, it's the most positive outlook I've had on Payday 3 for over 9 months, so yeah, that's the sound of the Grinch's heart growing 3 sizes. Thank you so much for watching, be sure to join the stream this evening to unlock your Twitch drops and maybe learn something new about yourself. I'll hopefully see you all there. A huge thank you to my dedicated Patreon backers. If you want to join this crew in going infamous, check out the link below and pledge as little as $2 to see your name in the credits, or get 24-hour early access to future videos and vote on upcoming content. Take care, I'll see you all soon.
Bella baby. Welcome to my channel.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello, what's up? Morning. I guess morning because it's probably safe to say it's
Hi.
morning in EU. Howdy. So I'm gonna be really annoying and like ask, what do you think about oh my god, what happened? Unlimited headshot range coming back to Hunt Shodan. So, okay, I'm gonna let that question sink in. Maybe you don't know. Let me see. So, yeah. So,
https www.youtube.com watch vy bonakon. Sue. Headshot range is unlimited. Bullets are gonna drop. How are you? Sorry, my English is not so good. I'm fine so far, and Hunt runs this way and that. So good luck on hitting moving targets.
I am good. Thanks for asking. My English isn't my my primary language. It's like how can you call it? Like a secondary. So I'm also struggling at the times to, you know, keep the conversation going in like a long way. Ah, right. Diarrhea. Yes. That's what I wanted. Yep. Yep. No, that's not what I wanted, but that's what I got. Shit. I'm fine, so can't. Yeah. Well. So is
Short lurk round starts.
Oh, okay. Oh, let me check. Let me check. It does. Oh. Okay. Fair enough. So.
Hey, what's up, everyone? We're going to discuss some new tournament variants that have been data mined.
Also multitasking a lot, you know.
They are planning a long break, and they respond to a question about whether they will continue with one primary and one secondary in the next war bond. Among other topics, we'll talk about. If you enjoy the video at any point, give it a thumbs up. We are going to first talk about the Arrowhead developers because recently Chief Executive Shams Georgiani has confirmed that there will not be any updates for the latest Insider, and he also mentioned that everyone is now disappearing due to summer break. Here's what he had to say to this member who asked if we'll see any more Insider peaks. Shams replied with, "Nothing to post right now as everyone is disappearing on summer break. We most likely are not going to see any major updates next month, nor will we see any blog updates or Insider updates. This is because they are actually planning on taking a 6-week vacation. If you don't know, the Swedish folks take their vacations seriously." The CEO then posted this shortly after and said, "We get 6 weeks of vacation per year and we take summer seriously." I'm not exactly sure how it works, if they completely shut down or if it's kept at a minimum so that some are taking breaks and some are working at the studio. This does worry me a bit when it comes down to the next patch because I wonder if we'll see the quality patch before they actually take a break. We know that the CEO has said that they are currently focused on updating us with the
DTD, a new vote has started.
And not only that, but Arrowhead is rewriting the entire code for the social menu from scratch. He even replied to another user that asked about the CPU issues as of late on PC and whether or not it will be fixed. By the way, we might have a workaround for that later on in this video, so stick around. But as of right now, let's look at this response right here. Of course, optimization and performance is a focus going forwards. And he also mentioned prior that they are tracking issues and he will be attending a big meeting tomorrow about it. And his response can be found right here, and he said, "Sorry to hear, we're tracking most issues. We have a big meeting tomorrow on the topical of quality and stability." This right here also makes me believe that they are not planning on giving us any major content updates anytime soon, which is not a big deal because I'd rather see the game running better. Now, why do I think we will not see any major content updates? Well, considering that the quality patch was talked about prior, and they are taking a
DTD
momentary
voting is
break.
complete and the
yeah,
viewers
sure,
have
this
chosen
sucks
big heads.
because I don't believe we will see the Illuminates anytime soon, and I'm predicting we'll see the Illuminates sometime in August. Considering that the developers are taking a break and all of the issues as of late are being resolved, and they're focused on that quality patch as well. Continuing along, the chief executive has also responded to some of the concerns about the war bonds only pertaining to one primary and one secondary. Myself personally, I didn't see it as a big problem. I kind of took it as a positive, but he has spoken his opinion about it, and here's what he had to say. "I think it's fair to say that we'll keep evolving war bonds and figure out the best balance between content, price." This right here sounds like something to be worried about. When he brought up the best balance between content price, I feel like we eventually might see a shift in prices for the next war bond. Whether this is going up or down in credits is to be determined, but I will say if the price goes up any higher, this might put a sour taste in the community's mouth. It sort of already does to me just thinking about it. However, if the next war bond includes more items, more rewards to earn, then I don't think there would be any complaints. If it's at least half the size or maybe even a quarter of the size of the free war bond we have currently, I think I would be okay with it. I am interested in how this will play out in the end. I just hope we do not see a price increase. You can feel free to chime in down below in the comment section and just let me know what you think about all of this so far. Shams also was able to update us on the next patch and whether or not it will include any nerfs, and he posted this right here and said, "For what it's worth, I haven't heard of any nerfs, but I have heard about fun stuff in the pipeline." He also has confirmed that he has not heard any changes coming to the Eruptor either. You can take this information with a grain of salt because I do not think he would want to mention anything about nerfs, as I feel like that would cause an
DTD
outrage
cooldown
from
commands
just about
are now
everyone.
active.
So really, who knows what this next patch will contain. He has mentioned there is some fun stuff in the pipeline, and I'm also interested in that because it's got to be something really, really cool. The CEO has also possibly denied any future mods coming to the weapons, and I'm not talking about mods like from PC or something you could use on PlayStation. I'm talking about mods that are similar to something like Destiny 2 or possibly another game out there. But this is his response. "Agreed, we'd love to expand the late game gameplay. Mods would be swell, but require a lot of work. This is a shame because I would have loved to see something like this. It would give us some way of spending our material, giving us a way to spend some samples, to upgrade weapons, to give it, better stuff on it. I know at some point there was talks of customization on weapons. Maybe that will play a part at some point. But this right here is what we know so far when it comes down to mods and stuff. So yeah, that's the answer. And lastly, we should expect the developers to have better communication soon, and this was revealed on X by Shams Jorjani, and he said, "Hello fellow divers, you've probably noticed that fewer of us from Arrowhead have been active on Discord, Reddit, Twitter recently. I'm happy to say that that's changing, and you'll see more folks from the dev team that you can chat and talk to about the game. Make them feel welcome." I feel like this has been quite the opposite, besides there being no clear communication on when we can expect the next war bond or the next patch. Regardless of that, I think they have done a great job, especially Twinbeard. He does a phenomenal job when it comes down to communicating with the community on Reddit, X, or even Discord. He almost appears to be everywhere. I'd say he might be an Illuminate, but I'll keep that on the low for now, and Whatever you do, do not report me to the nearest democracy officer. We're now going to discuss the latest Terminate data mine. If you would like to avoid some potential spoilers, which by the way are nothing major, just an image or two of future bugs arriving, and even a familiar face for some of you who have played the very first Helldivers. With that being said, we're going to now look at these images together and talk a bit about them. First and foremost, credit to an incredible leaker named Ironsights over at Helldivers 2 Reddit. He has taken the liberty of providing images of the newest Bile Charger variant. The first image here is sort of a front to side view of the new Charger variant and appears to have an acid sac in the back, where we typically see the Chargers or the Behemoths have that orange butt end, but with this Charger it has an acid sac on the back. Now Ironsights had revealed some information in a Reddit post right here that the acid Chargers will cause an acid explosion on death. What I wonder is how large that radius will be, and I am sort of excited to find out once they're in the game. The second image here will give you a better view of the back end, and you can see that almost neon acid color in the back. This without a doubt is going to be a tough Charger. We thought the Chargers prior were a pain at times, but a Charger with a bile fluid in the back is a bit intimidating to say the least. Next, this is going to be really special for those who have played the first Helldivers because it appears in the latest hotfix. Ironsights have found out that the Impaler is coming back. That's right. He noted that the model is not in the game just yet, but this information right here that says Behavior ID Bug Impaler and Behavior ID Bug Impaler Tentacle was recently added to the game files. So at some point we should see the model as well as the enemy at some point. And last but not least, I want to cover a potential workaround I saw, and credit to this Reddit user right here. This post right here has received quite a few upvotes, and it might help out some of you. The steps are quick and easy, so what you will need to do on Steam is click on your profile at the very top of the page where all the other tabs can be located. Then click Edit Profile on the right hand side. You'll then be brought to a screen where you'll have a few other options here on the left side. At this point, go towards the bottom, click Privacy, and change your friends list to Public. If this helps out, let me know down below in the comments, but with that being said, I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. We're now going to talk about the top 3 comments before we exit out. Credit to this Reddit user right here. This post right here has received quite a few upvotes, and it might help out for a potential workaround I saw, and credit to this Reddit user right here. This post right here has received quite a few upvotes, and it might help out some of you. The steps are quick and easy, so what you will need to do on Steam is click on your profile at the very top of the page where all the other tabs can be located. Then click Edit Profile on the right hand side. You'll then be brought to a screen where you'll have a few other options here on the left side. At this point, go towards the bottom, click Privacy, and change your friends list to Public. If this helps out, let me know down below in the comments, but with that being said, I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. We're now going to talk about the top 3 comments before we exit out. If you guys would like to be featured in the next video, all you have to do is comment down.
Excuse me, has anyone ever told you that you're the absolute spitting image of that Mr. Bean? And I said, well, actually, I am the actor who plays Mr. Bean. Then
Meet Mr. Bean, a lovable and eccentric character who delights in the absurdities of everyday life. With a childlike wonder and mischievous grin, he navigates the world with a unique blend of innocence and cunning. His silent comedy and physical antics have captivated audiences worldwide, making him a global phenomenon. Yet, behind the laughter lies a deeper narrative, one that explores the complexities and eventualities of existence, revealing the melancholy beneath the laughter of Mr. Bean's journey. Let's explore his journey, uncovering how this legendary character originated and the extent of his adventures along the way.
Please.
Elden Ring's most used mechanics are a trap? What?
There are so many
It
mechanics
is.
most people don't engage with because the game really doesn't do a good job at explaining them. But
Like
trust
what?
me, using just one of these can make your journey so much more enjoyable and way less painful.
Okay.
Rolling is bad. We learned that
See, I tell you guys this, like, we learned that from my DLC run. So true.
jumping is useful more than 2 years ago when Zali made a video on it. So recently, my curiosity got the best of me, making me test every single attack in the game. My god, to see which ones can be jumped over, and as cliche as it might sound, you won't believe some of these. Okay, hand. But why would you want to jump instead of rolling anyways? Rolling has immunity frames and jumping doesn't, after all. Let's take Tree Sentinel as an example. Most of us have fought Tree Sentinel and felt like the second phase attacks are just a little unfair. He jumps and slams into the ground, which creates a shockwave, so you need to dodge 2 hitboxes in total if you want to roll into it up close. You need to roll late enough to iframe the shield and still have iframes left for the shockwave, which is
Yeah, I knew it was bullshit somehow. Alright, yeah.
brutal. You don't have that many iframes. But if you jump, you don't get hit. Even better, it gives you the opportunity for the fan favorite jumping heavy attack, which does a ton of health damage and stance damage. And jumping also consumes less stamina than rolling. When you jump, your lower body becomes immune to damage. That includes the legs and even part of the stomach, but not the hands hanging off to the side. The immunity starts pretty much immediately, even when you're still visually on the ground, and lasts 60 frames, which is a whole second, compared to 26 frames on a roll. It starts faster, it lasts longer, which means you can dodge some attacks way too early or extremely late and still get away with it. There are a ton of attacks.
No way. Oh my god!
There are a ton of attacks that you can jump over. Some more useful than others, but the rule of thumb is that if the attack hits low to the ground, you can probably jump over it.
Yeah.
Not every attack is worth it though, so here are some examples of actually useful examples. Pretty much every AoE, which includes Radagon, Godric,
The triple slam.
Radan,
Yeah. I didn't know you
Malekith,
could do. Oh yeah, I did know that one.
Godfrey,
I didn't know that one. I did know this one.
Fortis,
I didn't know that one. I did not know
Meow.
this one.
Dragon,
Did not know that one. Did not know this.
Watchdog, and
Did
Tree
not know
Sentinel.
that. Did
You
not
can
know
do this
that.
really
Damn.
cool dodge on Margit, where you jump over his hammer when he goes into phase 2, and then walk behind him and jump the AoE. A majority of Godric's attacks can be jumped, shocker there, and then walk behind him and jump. Do this really cool dodge on Margit, where you jump over his hammer when he goes into phase
Jesus.
2, and then walk behind him and jump the AoE. A majority of
This is
Godric's attacks can be
insane.
jumped, shocker there.
So jump attacks were more meta than I ever thought. Oh my god. What?
You can jump over Elden Beasts and Rykard's sword swings, and even thrust attacks, although those are really hard to do. You can dodge
No way. What's? I want to see the frame on that. I mean, it doesn't hit him. Oh my
although those are
god.
really hard to do. You can dodge Malthia's grab and thrust attack by jumping to the side. Margit and Morgot's tail swipes are really easy to jump. Godskin Noble's ground slam is usually very annoying to time, but can easily be jumped. Brave Warden allows for some very flashy jumps because of how weird his hitboxes are. Red Wolf's second swing and spin attacks can be jumped, which is cool.
Oh
the
my-
Malekith dodge is just too fun to not do.
Bro, no wonder jump attacking was so good. This is insane.
Crucible Knights have a lot of attacks that can be dodged.
Yeah, I know that one. That's easy. Oh, I didn't know you
My
could do
favorite
that.
is this one. There are 2 attacks that can be jumped on Black Knives,
Yeah, that's the one
and
that
there are a
knocks
lot
you
of
down.
attacks you can jump away from.
DTD,
rather
a
than
new
over,
vote has
like
started.
Weapon, meal, medical, whatever.
Keep an eye out for attacks that you
Oh
can
my
jump over in the
God.
DLC. The previews made it seem like jumping will be a big part as well. And pro tip, if you jump in quick succession, the follow-up jumps will be tiny little baby jumps, but if you guard while jumping, you can prevent that from happening. Trust me.
That means if you're blocking while jumping, see? There it is. So rolling is actually, so blocking is the best option, jumping is the second best option, and rolling is the worst thing you can do. Oh my god.
Nothing feels as good as guard jumping up a slope. You are so fast. Strafing is another alternative to rolling that you should always consider. If an enemy does a slow overhead or a thrusting attack, you
Just
can
walk around
usually
them.
sprint or walk to the side and avoid it.
Yeah, this is an insane thing. Like, fighting this dude, all you have to do is walk to the side, and he misses like a third of his attacks. Like, it's actually crazy
DTD
'cause
voting
I
is
learned a
complete
lot
and the
of this
viewers
by
have
playing
chosen
with a
meal
shield
supplies.
and just like moving around just to see what would happen. And yeah, it's insane how many of these you can just miss the attack on. Strafing is busted on some bosses. Yeah, it is. Like, how many of you guys cheese like a lobster by like getting on like its back foot and just like, and it's dead, and it's trying to, and you're like, and it's dead, right? Yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Yes.
Which consumes next to no
It
stamina
works.
and doesn't lock you in any sort of animation, meaning you have a larger window to punish. It
Yep.
also looks badass. I mean, look at this, dude.
It does.
The only problem is that some of the best strafes require being locked off instead of looking at the boss. Locking on in general is a clever little trap FromSoft baits everyone into using chemtrails. While you are locked on, you can only move based on the boss's position. Holding left while locked on will make you walk circles around the boss, and while locked off, you can freely walk
Yes.
to the left. You see how severely that limits your movement? This is why locking off is genuinely a chat move. In some cases, it even breaks bosses completely, and in Sekiro, locking off and attacking with the tip of your blade made it so
Ah,
that
yeah, we
enemies
saw this
couldn't parry,
earlier.
which kind of defeats the purpose of the whole game. I won't go too
Yep.
much into detail since it's pretty advanced, but there are some easy attacks anyone can use it on, like Millennia's
Whoa.
flower attack. Just lock off, walk around her, take a little jog, and
Yeah,
she will
this
miss
is this is the one that everybody knows this one.
you, which, my god, it looks so stupid.
Yeah.
If there's one thing you can take away from this, is that you shouldn't be locked on if a boss is above you. It's just going to give
I learned that many times in a row.
you a headache and even limit you from going right under the boss. Which one of these do you think will do more damage? An unupgraded Holy Mace or a plus 13 Broadsword? This is obviously just an extreme example, but knowing the enemy's weaknesses can easily add a little bit of extra damage, which adds up quickly. In the case of those who live in death, aka the undead enemies, an unupgraded mace with Sacred Blade is literally all you need for the entire game. Combine it with Last Rite, and you can't even tell the mace has not been upgraded once. Bonus points for Sacred
Jesus.
because it makes it so that skeletons die for good. I highly recommend having one of these with you. Upgrade it as high as possible, but don't stress it. I mean, plus 10 is probably more than enough, but you can also get it higher, obviously. And bring golden
God
epitaph
damn.
for anything undead. You
Holy counter
really
stuff.
want
I didn't
that
even
credit.
know that.
The rule of thumb is that when fighting flesh, you want to use slash and fire. When fighting light armor, you want to use piercing and lightning. And when fighting heavy armor, you
Dragons usually take extra damage from lightning too. Like dragons do. That's what I usually try to use that.
want to use blunt and, well, lightning.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with lightning. Anything dead or spectral.
If you're fighting mobs with high armor, like, you know, like those guys that are like crystalline guys that, like, if you hit them, your weapons bounce off, like in the mines, those are the ones you want to use hammers for. And like the crystalline guys too.
is weak to holy. Basically nothing is weak to magic, other than maybe imps. And all of the status effects are obviously really good. For the worst case scenarios like Elden Beast, where there really is no weakness at all, just use Godslayer Flame. It deals percentage damage, so even a +0 dagger can do thousands of damage to NG plus Elden
Jesus.
Beast. Pretty cool.
Jesus.
But not just elemental damage matters. Special weaknesses are just as important. So here's some examples. Fasten your seatbelts, boys. You are about to be mind blown. Deathbirds are extremely vulnerable to holy pass. Watchdogs Deathbirds are extremely vulnerable to Holy Pass. Watchdogs go mad if hit by enough crystal darts, which can make the double Watchdog fight a walk in the park. You can bait this combo and jump over the third swing every time, or parry it, for an easy kill. Big flowers start wailing when hit with fire, and can be slapped pretty easily, or parry it, for an easy kill. You can bait this combo and jump over the third swing every time, or parry it, for an easy kill. Big flowers start wailing when hit with fire, and can be slapped pretty easily. Birds
Oh,
fall
I know
over
that
when
one.
hit with gravity spells. Land octopus can have their arms cut off one by one to make them
I knew
squirm
that.
harmlessly. Land squirts explode when hit with poison. Trolls stun if
What? Why? That's I had no idea.
shot in the face and start covering their
Let's
face
see.
afterwards. Flame
Oh, I did know this one.
chariots can be executed Sekiro style
Yep,
from
I knew
above.
this one.
Everyone knows that.
But hey, real quick. If you do this, run the fuck away from it. Because if you don't, it blows up and it will kill you. Yeah, fucking explodes. If you do this execute.
From above. Everyone knows that.
I
healing
learned that
spells kill
myself.
Revenants. Pumpkin heads can be put to sleep to avoid having to deal with the helmet mechanic altogether. And you can also parry the fist attack, but not the weapon attacks. I have no idea
Oh
why,
my
but
God.
it feels really cool to do. These guys are weak to lightning in a very weird way, where they will always stagger after 5 hits of lightning, no matter the source. Glintstone blades
Wow.
kill the invisible scarabs for you. Giant lobsters
They aim. That's nuts.
are also weak to sleep. Finger creepers become incapacitated by fire. Barricade shield
I learned that. I remember I watched S-Fan do it.
become
That's nuts.
kill the invisible scarabs for you. Giant lobsters lightning, no matter the source. Glintstone blades
Wow.
kill the invisible scarabs for you. Giant lobsters
They aim. That's nuts.
are also weak to sleep. Finger creepers become incapacitated by fire. Barricade shield
I learned that. I remember I watched S-Fan do it, and then I did it myself. That's crazy.
makes the misbegotten look very pathetic. And it's honestly a really good
All right, wait, what?
Barricade shield makes the misbegotten look very pathetic. And it's honestly a really good Ash of War in general.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It's pretty good. I say that.
For anything if you got counter. Falling Star Beasts and Astel take a lot of extra damage from gravity weapons and equipment. The Stormblade
What?
Ash of War goes really hard for imps and birds in early game. I might have even
Damn.
forgotten some. It goes without saying that the same applies to you though. Who do you think is tankier? Armor Boy or Naked Man? Let's imagine that Godric is Mesmer for a second. I know this is
Okay.
very insulting to Mesmer, but whatever. Without
Sure.
any equipment, his fire breath hits pretty hard. By
Ooh,
far the
that's a
best
lot.
armor sets in the game, it doesn't do nearly as much, but in comparison to wearing no armor and using the right buffs, it's insane. It basically just tickles me. And all I used was flame-resistant talismans and a flame liver. I can still light roll. Mesmer will do a lot of fire damage, just saying. Generally, I would always have 2 defense talismans. The Dragon Crest is pretty much always useful because there's a
This is a base 20%, I think. It's 15 or 20%. This is a crazy reduction. And then you have the Opaline tier. You have the crab shit.
lot of
Like,
physical
it's
damage
nuts.
in the entire game, and the second slot is
Yeah.
whatever element you're up against. Then at
Exactly.
60 vigor, I
You do
recommend
Pearl
the
Drake.
Crimson Sea Talisman, but that's mostly personal preference. And the fourth slot is what damage. Trust me when I say, after seeing the previous stuff, that this is not over-preparing. Shit hits hard.
Yeah.
Stealth is criminally underrated. I made a whole video on it, but to summarize the most important message, use Assassin's Gambit. This Ash of War is beyond broken. You give up
What
a
is
tiny
this?
bit of health for a 30-second buff that entirely mutes your footsteps and makes you nearly invisible, similar to social
What?
anxiety. Not only can you skip groups of enemies if they're too tough or start a fight with a heavy attack to the back of someone's head, also similar to social anxiety, but you can also straight
Wow.
up cheese some bosses and make them look like they're from Dark Souls 2. For example, if you use it before going into the Crucible Duo arena and quickly throw a sleep pot high to the back right, then crouch sprint along the left wall, you can fight one of them at a time. I know this is kind of complicated, but it's
This is some real bullshit, man. This is some ABC, boys. That's right.
absolutely worth it. Oh, for Godskin Duo, just use it before reaching the middle of the arena and then
Oh
walk
yeah, if anybody's seen a speed run, like
forward to
any of
toss
these,
2
you've seen this
sleeping
one
pots
before.
between them. Just look at these idiots. It's also nice to
Yep.
sneak behind this dickhead for 2 charged heavy attacks before the fight even starts. Or, my favorite, it's possible to choose Elfnir by following the setup 1 for 1. He deserves it, please do it.
He's throwing shit pies at him. Does it?
And all you have to do is Volcano Manor's first hunting quest, and then Banal will sell the Ash of War. Get it as early as possible and put it on a rapier. Or if he's dead, just go to his sword in Volcano Manor. I bet you didn't know that, because I didn't. Crafting is actually
I didn't know that either until I had to learn that in order to remove the Ash of War from the fingerprint shield, and then I took, it took me about an hour to figure it out. It did. I tried resetting it. I tried looking it up. Yep, it took a long time.
So pork and people are missing out on it. Every consumable has a distinct use. Pods can do some crazy damage and offer tonic utility, like cancelling Melania out of the waterfall or cheesing her second phase. They can.
This is nuts. People don't know this. Like, you don't even need to do the fucking mechanics. This, in my opinion, is like, this is why Elden Ring is a good game, by the way. This is why it is, in my opinion, one of the greatest, if not the greatest game of all time. Is because, like, knowledge is power. It is your best secondary stat, man. It is a poor job of explaining? Yeah, I know.
Or cheesing her second phase, you can throw around status effects and finish enemies or bosses from a safe distance. The bubble perfumes are extremely strong, allowing you to survive any attack, no matter how strong or how much damage it deals, up to 10 times the fight. The Spark Aromatic does excellent damage at low stats, and the Poison one procs the strongest version of poison in the entire game. Throwing knives can be used to bait out a single enemy at a time, or in combination with Assassin's Gambit, to bait enemies away from somewhere or near a cliff, but they can also be used
Jesus.
the enemies or bosses every so often and reset the posture bar to keep it from going back up. And the boluses and livers often and reset the posture bar near a cliff, but they can also be used to ping the enemies or bosses every so often and reset the posture bar to keep it from going back up. And the boluses and livers are just amazing for survival. Guard counters are a mechanic I didn't use for hundreds of hours, but it's so...
I was the same way. Whenever I first learned with guard counter and how shields worked in the game, it was like I just unlocked my third eye. Like, I can see, like, all the matrix and, like, the coding behind the game, and I'm just like, okay, I win.
So fun to do and will be
guard
even
counter
better
is so
on the
good.
DLC. If you
Well, it does as much posture damage, basically, as a charged heavy attack. That's what makes guard counter really good. It's not even the damage, it's the posture damage that it does.
Can use torrent in a boss fight, then do it. Chances are the
I
fight is
learned this
designed
recently
around
too.
it. As much as I like badass one-on-ones on the ground, horseback fighting a dragon has become just as fun. Really, the lesson to learn from me being hesitant to use some of these mechanics for hundreds of hours is to just use everything. Even spirit ashes if you feel like it. Just have fun.
That's what we're gonna do.
There's no shame in any of it. Some of the best ashes of war are severely underrated, and you absolutely need to be using them for the DLC. Vow of the Indomitable gives you a whole second of complete invulnerability, and can be used for attacks like Godfrey's Shockwave or Rakard's Earthquake. And with good enough timing, you can even negate Waterfall. Stormblade is one of...
Damn it, man. I should have known that.
Good enough timing, you
That's
can even negate
awesome.
Waterfall. Stormblade is one of the best Ashes of War early on and costs little to no FP. Phalanxes do incredible posture damage and can be used without even
What the
attacking to
fuck?
stagger a dragon in free casts and then do actual damage. And Flaming Strike is extremely good and you do no FP. Phalanxes do incredible posture damage and can be used without even
What the
attacking to
fuck?
stagger a dragon in free casts and then do actual damage. And Flaming Strike is extremely good and you really should be using it. The Lance Ashes
Oh
of
my
War are also
God.
really good for hitting dragon heads. All of the mechanics I talked about in this game combined allow you to do something like this. If you understand everything I'm doing here, then you're ready for the DLC. Lastly, and this might be a tiny bit of spoilers, but not really, make sure to explore first if the DLC is giving you a lot of trouble, or probably in general, even if it isn't. Find
Bro, what a fucking this is amazing. What a video. This is insane. Yeah, I'm gonna link you guys the video.
blessings and increase your defenses to significantly help
This
with
is-
the
dude, I had
ridiculous
no
amount of
idea
damage
about
everything
this
will
shit.
do. And bring a lantern. It's dark in the shadows.
It sure is. Like, I feel good that I knew about
as much-
20% of this. Oh my god. Don't you acknowledge yourself? Yeah, no, I mean, a lot of people, like, yeah, this is nuts. What the fuck? There's the video. Give it a like, man. That's nuts. I've never watched this guy's video. I've never seen a video from him before. So, like, what the fuck? That is so useful. And also, he went through all these in 10 minutes. That's nuts. Power of reading your weakness? Well, I just assume it's bad, right? That's it. Thank you for linking it. Yeah, absolutely. This is crazy good. Oh my god. I'm like just, I'm honestly just kind of in shock, to be honest.
Hey guys, I'm back. Thank y'all for letting me take a little bit of a break there. I know there's not a lot out right now, but X Define is the first one we're going to review, our first free-to-play review. I know it's weird, but there's not much out right now. So I was thinking about reviewing this and Multiverses, and then the big stuff starts to come. So there's still some fun left in this year, even though it's been a kind of a down year for games. Thank y'all so much for being patient. Thank you for supporting the show. Thank you to G Fuel, our sponsors. You guys have sold out our flavors still, but there's plenty of great flavors. I got a new Tetris one. Check out the hydrations. We have the % off code down below. It directly supports our show. Thank you guys so much, and hope you enjoy the review and many more to come.
What? What the heck? What is that outfit, Joe? Oh, are you serious?
This?
You're gonna embarrass me.
What do you mean? This is a standard DedSec operative.
Oh, I see. From Watchdog. All right, you guys ready? Whoa! What the fuck is that? Are we going to war with Tumblr moderators
Dracula
now?
SRB.
Yeah,
Welcome
he's
to my
from
channel.
Watch Dogs Legion.
Milan Glida for JVO.
Oh, you're putting the special on special forces, are
How's
you?
the thumbs up?
After the fight, I will get you a juice box and some orange slices. All right, let's go.
Nemoj problem. This is a free country, everybody can look whatever the fuck they want. Modify. Headgear. Headgear.
Šta ima?
A, ništa. Ono, malo nisam zaspao.
To?
A vreme, znaš, tako loše. Vruće, toplo, ladno. Znaš. Well, I'm fucked. Aj.
Aj.
Aj. Minecraft taktike.
Ako budeš želeo kod zombije i reci.
Pa možda hoćeš. Ako me koknu previše puta za...
Ja sam u multiplayeru, izaći ćeš ti budeš. Onaj bit partisan.
Yes, he does.
Yes, he does.
Nisam znao da bilo me zanima 7 Days to Die. Kurac, Milan.
Ja ne uročim što se dela tamo. Što je bro dropu?
Muszę pieczku materną. Huh. That's what I thought so.
Koga killer.
Demony jakieś, nie?
Nie. Demony jak killer.
Credo vinca così, no?
Tam do lodówki.
Jebany parkour.
O, oglądane pojaczy.
Da, nisam provalio juče. Kad sam gledao listu promjena za taj Hunt Shodan, piše gameplay changes. Nije fora u bullet dropu, to si možda čuo samo kad sam ja spomenuo. Headshotovi su ti, sad imaju ograničen domet.
Znači ne može preko 150.
Ne. Headshotovi iz svakog oružja imaju ograničen domet. Možeš nekog headshota od Derringerom. Primjera. Možeš Derringerom headshota od nekog. Ako, mislim, znaš da Derringer ima spor, metak ko kurac i nema penetracije, ali Winchesterka može isto da headshotuje neograničeno, na primjer. Svako oružje ima neograničen domet od avgusta, ali imaš bullet drop. Ili ti što, što slabiji tip metka.
Domet, znači headshot je na svemu headshot.
Možeš shotgunom headshotovat na 200 metara.
Dobro.
Ako možda pogodiš. Zato što sve pada, znaš, svi projektili padaju, čak i sad.
Ja, meni to će biti okej, ja ću to i da igram. Novina, razumiješ?
Imaš samo, čitao sam po forumu kao ljudi, kao to je sad, kako se sad navići, kao, ili kaže, igrao sam PUBG, u PUBG je toga bilo, pa sam prešao na Hunt, pa mi je kao navika.
H1Z1 isto, brate, skroz pucanje promenilo, sve to su ljudi igrali. Da će biti više igračevi, manje to pitanje.
Ma to je nebitno.
Da će biti loši ili dobro.
Koga briga šta misle stari igrači, njima nisu ni bitni stari igrači, bitni su i novi igrači.
Realno, da, za prodaju.
To je ono što ljudi greše, znaš, kao, pa je kao otići kao stari igrač. Koga briga, već su uzeli sve para dva što su mislili. Koliko ima DLC-eva da se proda, razumeš, novim igračima. Ne mogu starom igraču prodati stare DLC-eve kojih ima pun kurac. Kurac. Opet menjaju kako se gear upgradeuje u Dark Tide. Warhammer 40k Dark Tide.
Opet menjaju.
Ne sviđam se kao stari sistem. Pa već jednom i jesu i sad kao...
Oni nisu normalni, bet, to nije vezano.
Mislim, igra je već izašla, ne znam zašto imaju potrebu da to rade.
Viš da ni oni nisu normalni. To sveća po ime. Ajde bre. Kao, digo nam se kurac i ne znamo šta ćemo, pa ajde da...
Pa dobro, ljudi su i kritikali u startu da ne postoji nikakav endgame, grind, razumeš. Da igraš iste mape, non stop. A jesu i kao, znaš, kao ne sviđam si opet su promenili. Isto kao UI change u Hunt Shodanu. Kaže, nema nikakvu benefit ni za koga ko ne koristi konzolu. Kaže, nema veze s PC igračima. Ikonice, meni je...
mu se čuje ovo, brate, ispolje?
Njemu? Ne znam. To nije neka ono pornić muzika, ono je tehno kao.
Kao neka pornić muzika, kurim.
Pa ja kad kažem pornić muzika mislim na one varijante gdje, znaš ono, likuša ono, pozira za ono kameru i ono...
Bravo. To se zove, ne podcast, nego onaj, kao, početak, kako ga...
ASMR, predigre.
Predigra, kao. Intervju, to je intervju kao početak. Nju zaboravi. Brate moj, aki druže moj. Brate moj, druže moj. To se spori. To ćeš akatam pam pam.
Nisam poginuo samo 9 puta.
Pam 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 pam. si ti?
Tamo si ti, tamo stanuješ, ranjena duša željna ljubavi. Tamo si ti, tamo
Čekaj, ti stare.
željna ljubavi.
Bam bam, dagada, dagada, dagada. Htjeli se sviđa, htjela se. Sviđite mi stare.
Baš.
Ide tram, ja. Evo. Aj sad ja, šta. Radi. Ovo gleda pornične.
Šta ti kaže? Kao sprdamo se, ali... Čekaj, on tebe čuje išto?
Ne čuje niko.
Čekaj.
DTD cooldown commands are now active.
Onda casual chat. To smo tebi inače radili, aj Slavko. Juče. Kao sam rekao Slavko da te prebaci u drugu sobu.
Ja sam bio da dignem kevi.
Znam, ali nismo teli, pa mislim. Samo smo te prebacili u drugu sobu. Kad budeš online da skontatiš sam.
Kevi išli da dignem platu, pa da uplatim za TV ratu. I da kupim nešto u ete prodavnici i počela kiša bre da vete pada. Pa onda brate 10% po imenu. A meni kola ne radi.
Kako ne radi? Lepo on.
A menjač otišao. 50.000 da se sredi korpa čitao. Evi ga ko da su ti zajebano sredstvo već. To ima ulaganja koliko hoćeš već.
DTD cooldown commands are now active.
Kurde. Belin, kurde. За напад. За медаль с напад.
Dan.
Dobar dan!
Dobar dan! Taj... puta 4. Aj, moj žir, bilo gdje i bilo kaj. Zarobi.
Mrš!
Mrš! Ti ko onaj iz mali budo. Kad dođe onaj po svog sina u bolnicu. I ova mu kaže, medicinska sestra, Božo, vaš sin je nažalost, mnogo mi žao, umro je. Mrš!
Petar Božić. Iuuu, kakve sredine ovi. Mir! Mir jebem u majku. Odjel. Elo. Tiš da pucaš u svoga druga, ajde, ubij me. Joj.
Žemane, jesi jeo što?
Nisam došao jesam. Mogu nešto još čekati, nešto dema došao jesam.
Napravit ću ti ja, ima supe i makarone sa sirom.
Dobro.
Bermude su ti one suve, na žicu su suve.
Dobro, hvala.
ćao do dolje.
Mislim da si rekao. Mislim.
Sutra je sinu rođendan, čisto da znaš.
Avgust.
Kako je avgust?
28.
29. jun.
A, dobro, ne pitam. Mislim da je avgust.
Može ti pametnije.
A?
Ne znam, možemo šta kupiti ili šta?
Čokoladu.
DTD cooldown commands are now active. DTD, a new vote has started. DTD voting is complete and the viewers have chosen Jumbled Backpack.
Do kurcu.
DTD, a new vote has started.
I don't like.
DTD voting is complete and the viewers have chosen Biker Attack.
Jebi. Boş. Baš, dobro, bar nisam dobio level. Daleko sam od toga. Te uz gudicu mi se prebi.
Ti sam gledao ranije pornice.
Nego šta?
A ti se čulo to, brate, neka muzika, ona kao pred pornice, ono, kao pred intervju.
Da, intervju. Da, dobro si rekao. Da, fake intervju.
Nešto si ostavi upaljeno, brate. To nije muzika, jedan isti ritam, brate.
Pa da.
A šta kaj je to, brate, ritam?
To ti kad sa nalikuša igra sa...
Ne mogu uopće pisam pornic i ono se čuje slabo, brate, nije više da tvoje puno.
To da. U ritmu muzike.
U ritmu muzike za tvoje. Imam ja. Nešto je nopac. Znaš šta ima? A to ćeš danas raditi, pošto nema kište. Da vidim. Ja ne znam stvarno kad su ti videodani, sveci i kako to je.
Sve ti ne radi.
ako neko ne radi, to sam ja isto.
DTD cooldown commands are now active. DTD, a new vote has started.
Igram kod i slušam neki podcast. Budem snake.
Da kažeš i gledaš?
Zajebam Milana, igram kod i ugašeni zvuk i pustio podcast, da te rekao, glumim
Šta je vas? I see nothing better.
Yeah, it's not.
Nisam znao da smo potpisali neki ugovor. Gdje si Marko?
Milane. Ja si silni Milane. Milane silni.
Milan silni.
DTD voting is complete and the viewers have chosen silly sounds.
A reći za to kako 15 dana. I tamo sam pokupio tu malenku stigla. Evo, upravo je unboxing. Njegov privatna lepa kutija, žao mi sad ih cijepam.
Vidi.
Lepo kutica, baš ono lepo. Treba samo da im pošalju neki opta, neki država.
Što je skupio?
Neki bundle.
To je ono kamera, ona kao 360, malo ono.
Pa da, malo je.
To za bajs i da kola i za bilo šta.
Lele, vidi, neki
Šta bi
komp,
ti još snimao za YouTube ili šta?
Ma vrat, idemo ovako neke kampovanje, rošilje, tako.
Do jaja.
Jebote, koliko teško. Ler, pa ima ovaj dildo, vidio. Ovaj, glavu. Ovo je dobro stvar, ovaj nisam. Ne znam šta je. Aha, to je za glavu, da. Stavim ovaj đavo. I dvije baterije, jebote, kao dva okvira, vidio. Kablovi za punjenje i kamerica je. Jebote, teško je, nije baš lako.
Nije lako, ali ja.
Ali ipak, never must be updated. Ja sam kao bolje sam ovdje iz Sibirije, što sam ovdje stavio.
Unboxing, a?
Dobro, evo ga čekaj.
Evo. Koliko si ga platio?
50 neka idem na pokuš.
50 eura?
50.000.
53 ili 57, kako je, oko 50.000.
To su jaka kamera.
Pa, to ja mislim nejač od njih. 12 cm za njih. Kaže da ima duplo jaču bateriju nego prednji ugodovi 11.
I bio. Treba ti imaš isti sto kao ja.
Ma brate, sanje stola.
Isti sto kao ja imaš.
Ma govno brate stola, evo te baš.
Da, dobar je taman.
Nije dobar, brate. Ne, uopšte si. Nije ono, pazi, kakvi postoje, on je super, ali...
Ne, kameru neće biti.
Mora ovdje stavim neko voljeno vlačenje, ja mi ono nešto gaješ. Ne valja ovaj... Be quiet, da, ne, kako se... Be black, be quiet. Be quiet. Lepa torbica, baš mi se sviđa. Kurac. Slušalica. Ovo, brate.
O, brate mili, brate mili, brate mili, brate mili.
Kaže... Slovenija, šta je ovo? Zemlja... Srbija... Šta je ovo? Izbor...
Comtrade, a?
Ma u Gigatonu, ali da, Comtrade uvoznice, da.
Evo si ti uzeo, brate, Gigaton.
Da, oni prikuđu, da.
To.
Telefonu mogu i sa telefona spektirati, ne snako.
Da.
Animacije, mountove. Da, bre, ona njoj ima onaj. Mislim, te danas i cenim. Ovdje imam sranje, dobro ste. Ovako. Da kaže, ja čovjek treba da ima 3 ruke, ali...
Pa imaš i tu opciju, si gledao?
3 ruke.
Da, da.
Evo, ovo. Brate, baš jedno teško. Ja bih krenuo.
Koliko to može 4K fazima, ne? Jebo.
Piše negdje. Ima HDR snimak, da, to je novo. 10 bita boja, ideš u kurac. Evo je ruci.
4K što zove, jel?
5,3, 60 FPS.
7K.
20 FPS-a, 2,7K, 240, to molimo sve.
To je brutalna kamera.
Ništa, idemo da se sigramo malo, s ja baitim po život,
Ej. To staviš negdje, brate, ćoše dok staraš nešto.
To jeste plan. Ako si ga slušao kad je pričao.
Ne.
Da.
To je priča?
Da.
što se čini? Kad je to pričao, ja to nisam čuo.
Jebi ga Drakula. Šta ti kažem?
Ja noćas sam pijan. Drogirani pijan. Drogirani pijan. Ja noćas sam pijan. Kako kaže?
Ne
Na
znam.
ulje mi balijam. Ej. Da.
Dobro jutro, dobar dan.
Dobro jutro, dobar dan.
Dobar dan, dobar dan, dobar dan.
Mesto za rad.
A, pravu ili ovako ono zupus?
Da,
Šta će?
i to.
Ko se jebote, ovako, pa sad ćeš maknuti s njom ili nešto. I imaš možda neka u kasu. Ja, znaš. Ja znam, ali prevelika razlika u ceni, sad znaš, neko koji nećeš koristiti ne znam na koji način da sediš tamo nešto po dvorištu. Ali ima da se pravi, mislim da imaš dobre ove, čekaj, mađarske neke kovače, ne znam da li to naši rade. Ali imaš ovo kod je interesno, znači to srednjovekovno oružje. Jao! Imaš te entuzijaste za to srednjovekovno na YouTubeu.
Imaš jedno dobro srednjovekovno oružje, zove se sekira i lopata, znaš.
To je bilo pre par godina kad sam ja video, ne znam, možda bi mogao da probam da izgooglam. Kažem ti, gledaj, znaš onaj, mislim se zove Battle of a Nation. To je ono kad se ljudi bore...
Rpaju.
Onako u tim okupima i to sve, mislim se zove Battle of a Nation. A onda imaš i te neke kovače koji su isto to nešto ispratili. Mada imaš, jebote, sad čekaj, da, sad kad sam to rekao, i oni su uzimali sve to kod nekih naših. Jebi ga, znači možda najbolje izgooglati savez. Za to pa čuti što košta ima da kažeš.
Ali to košta pare, kecmo ne.
To košta, zato su...
To košta para, što će reći da ljudi koji nemaju posao i izvor prihoda ne mogu da se bave tim.
Pa ne, zato sam je rekao fazonu...
Ali bavi se nečim, a zaboravim se ja bavi ne. Kako sam mogu da zaboravim, da. Se bavi nečim. Reketiranje.
Ima prihoda, imaš na kanal.
Ima, kako ne. Ti Twitch poslao kint.
Drogirani pijan. Šta si htio?
Ne, onaj... Čekaj, nije. Ovo je za onaj... Milan, jeli? Milan Prorok. Ne, Milan Prorok.
Jebote koji on kralje čoveče. Što mi je krivo što više nema emisiju.
Kako ne?
Milan Tarot. Možeš, ali to će ti više biti ono ukrasne replike. Možeš sigurno da naručiš na AliExpressa. Tamo ja mislim da možda nađeš sve.
S obzirom da se vodi kao ukras, mislim da bi trebalo da.
Što ti ne bi pustio?
Kod carine? Jeste, te boli briga.
Čekaj, šta bi ti kupiš, šta si rekao? Katanu?
Teško. Prvo će ti stupe, znaš.
Pa taj neke faze.
Prvo će da uzmu na ono to cijelo da ti onako fino poravne. Da bude korisna kao komad metala, znaš. I onda će ti daj.
Ja noćas sam pijan.
Ako ti tako odgovara, to ćeš vidjeti.
Imaš ovako, čekaj, da ću ti ovaj sajt, to je naše.
To je naše, vaše, da.
Da, to je kao military shop, ono, ali kod nas je. Da. Kog da bila, ne znam.
A čekaj, a šta on prodaje?
Ali kažem ti, ono primjer, ide ti cena od 4.500 do, ne znam, 7, pa imaš 6. Znaš, ali to su ti one kao, na primjer, samo da stoje, boker i to. Evo, na primjer, ovo koliko vidim, evo pogledaj ovaj link samo, to ti kod njih. Ovaj drugi link. Koliko vidim, to je kao, da li ono kao mislim piše da je brand nemački, a distributer je oprema za sport, do. Znači to ti je ono komplet, imaš tantovak, izaši i katanu. Sad jebi ga, ono što mi se ne sviđa što na slikama nisu dali da se vidi izvorno ovoga.
To je njegovo, odavde će sajt. Je.
Kako gaš? Ja i ne znam koji je Antić. Koji je Antić?
Neki biznis kurac. Prosipa neke priče gluposti. Znaš.
Imaš i snajper isto, to je ono, znaš, staro radnje. Ali baš nemaju, mislim, nije da nemaju neki izbor, ali neki su baš i skupi.
A što ne uzmeš za $100? Nije $100, koliko košta to? 200 možda evra ili dolara, nisam siguran. Imaš one replike onih pištolja na crni bar koje zapravo pucaju, ali se ne tretiraju kao oružje. Znaš se su arhaični. Smatra se da ti ne možeš nikog ubiti, što je vjerojatno istina.
Majko!
Evo ovo Tomislav može, imaju Hrvatski neki kikes se zove.
Go do the money talks, bullshit
oko
walks.
110 evra su.
Money talks. Bullshit walks.
Money talks. Bush talks. Money talks, money. Money talk, money talk.
Shit, man. I treat you that good, and you don't even fucking tip me.
Da da da.
E pa pig avanture, idemo.
Peppa the Pig.
Mm.
Vidi tata prase.
Ostrich adventures and best friends forever. Game Bond, oh gosh.
Potato, potato.
Ajne seriji Vindictus, jel ovo i dalje postoji, Lani?
Što to?
Vindictus igra.
Nemam pojma šta je to, ali... Okej.
Tuča, treće lice, onako hub, base, ideš po dungeonima i biješ, ono, imaš, biraš određen likovi, svi likovi imaju, kažeš, ono, neku svoju klasu i to je to, ono. Ali stara igra.
Kan det just. Ще pauziram.
I ideš da pružiš neko jaje, jel tako?
I da odem na kratko.
Tu smo. Nije, nego sam se nešto dalje otišao. A, hoće da diskonektuje još neke sranje. A te što rekao da ispržim koje jaje. A? Pa kako drugčije? Da. Sad vežba. Da, kuću. Pa to. On je rekao da... rekao ću ranije pre nego kasnije.
Drogirani, pijen.
Alo? Nešto ko Boris. Samo za francuski jezik. Neko ima neki problem, zovu njih i to. Samo...
Koliko ti vredi outfit? Kad smra?
Koliko mi vredi outfit? Kakav outfit, bre? Koji trenutno nosim na sebi.
A?
Koji trenutno nosim na sebi, šta?
Da.
Vredi jedno 2000 dinča.
Opa. Dobro si.
Pa pazi, papuče su samo 1000.
Ujebat.
U osnovu vredi više, bre, ova majica je, brate, znaš ono kao sileđika.
Koliko?
Ova majica koju je fazon sileđika, ja mislim da je ona bila jebote samo 1500. Pa znaš one sileđike, znaš one kao na bretele, ali što se malo sužavaju na leđima.
Sve.
Pa da,
Ja na
sileđik,
sebi imam
taj fazon.
neku sivu majicu, nije ni brendirana, pijace. Za pokrižu. Da.
Ja ne mogu da verujem, ovo ne da je zahvalno, znači ova majica je kupljena pre toliko ono, ima već jedno, pa brate ima jedno 3 godine, jebe ovo mater. I dalje je ono super, drži formu i sve. Mislim u ono vreme, mislim da je bila, da li 1500 ili nešto malo više, ali gdje si vidio majicu, brate, da ti drži 3 godine, brate, mislim to je letnja majica, znači ono nosiš je malte ne 1-2 dana i pereš je.
Da.
Znaš, ono i dalje kao ono i boja je okej. Pa ne, znaš kako je gledam 2 dana, vidi.
Dobro, zavisi mi
Ako nije topao dan, znaš, ono možda čak i prespavam u njoj, pa sutra isto i, znaš, i onda...
Ti si previše pedantan, to je drugo.
Znaš.
Ništa to nije strašno, man. Ti si, brate, muško i ono, trebaš biti prljav.
Trebaš biti prljav.
Tačno. Imam druga koji je previše pedantan, katastrofa, bre. Pazi noge, došao kod ono njega, pazi noge tu, pazi ovdje. Rekao, idu pičku mater. I šta sutra treba tako sa ovom ženom, tako da, baš bre. Vidio sam na ovaj military site shop, da kupim knjigu od ovog Antića, a?
Milane, priča nam ko je Antić, Milane.
Je njegov, šta? Kakva budala, već.
Jao, ozbiljno, jebote li svet mali.
Knjiga 2900 dinara. Je. Mogu. Ali znaš šta je on? On ti je generator random words, bukvalno random stvari priča, ono...
Ali nije. On ti priča samo ono što već ljudi su krenuli već 2-3 godine pričaju na internetu i imaju to.
Zato što nikad nismo htjeli otići. Kako mi njih da pomrlo dok su mali? Kako ludak bio.
Brate. Vidi, donekle, znaš, ono kao u fazonu, znaš, da smo zaista imali malo više načina da se branimo, možda ne bi tako alako ušli u sve to, ajde kažem što stoji, ali opet to je neki željeni pravac, mislim, niko ne razvija vojsku da bi mu vojska stajala, znači ono pre ili kasnije ćeš upotrebiti.
Kreten, brate, majke mi.
Ali znaš što je meni fantastično? Ti ljudi dobijaju
medijski prostor.
vreme i medijski prostor na nacionalnoj frekvenciji.
Da, pa je, zato što pričaju. To više pričaš random stvari.
Ne, ali to je meni neverovatno, čovječe, znači, ti daš nacionalno vreme i frekvenciju takvim stvarima, znači ovdje, znaš kad su krenuli ovi talk show-ovi i tako to? Ja sam rekao, to nema šanse da uspe kod nas, pogotovo što su radili, ne znam, što je radio, na primjer, Ivan Ivanović i tako, znaš, ono, zato što je on kao bio malo više sveobuhvatan, znaš. Ovo što radi ovaj Ognjen, šta on radi? On ne radi ništa, generalno zove, brate, one gluposti, daje medijski prostor tim nekim pevačima, pevaljkama i, znaš, ništa se nije promenilo, ništa se nije tu promenilo, znaš, to je ono što je bilo. Rekao sam Ivan Ivanović, znaš, ono kao super je on krenuo i bio interesantan, ali, brate, on nema koga da zove.
Nema više.
On nema koga da zove, ako ćeš da zoveš te neke malo ono kao pametni i učeniji ljudi, to su ljudi koji su ono, nemaju nikakav medijski prostor i skoro su nepoznati. Znaš, ono, zbog toga, znaš, a Ognjen nije bolji, znaš, ono, nema bolji format, nije bolji voditelj. On zove samo ono i svi mu dođu tamo nešto polugoli, brate, u onu emisiju i, znaš, ono, kao eto, i to je to.
A i dolazimo sad isti, brate, ljudi svaki.
Pa malte ne, ono, znači isti oni kojima treba ili koji su uplatili ili neko koga je neki njegov ono krenuo da gora, progorava i to ti je to. Ali svaka emisija, moj brate, ista i njena emisija mu se ne razlikuje od bilo koje, da kažeš, ono, muzičke emisije koja je do sad bila. Znači sve je, znaš, ono, i to je format emisije, ništa drugčije. A rekao sam, znaš, kao ti host-rollovi ne mogu da uspu kod nas, jer oni nemaju koga da zovu, oni nemaju goste. Niti imamo toliko tih, da kažeš, ono, kao glumaca, jer ti glumci su već bili po svim tim emisijama i sad će doći ovdje, mada eto, ono, sad će si, da Ivan Ivanović imate zvajte neki, ono, i baš su mu se odazvali, jebate, Sting mu je bio u emisiji, bila mu je ona mala iz Francuske, Zaz, ona isto, Billy Idol mu je jebate.
I sino, brate, Pablo, Escobar.
Da, znaš, on se trudi, zaista moraš da poštuješ šta neki radi, zaista radi nešto drugačije od kod nas, ovo je prvi put da imamo. Do sad je sve bilo isto, mislim, ako gledaš ono od Minimaxa, to je bio format, znaš, ono dođe neko polugol emisiji ili ima neke polugole žene i kao neko mu je pisao neke glupe šale, ono. Pa tako je i ovo, do sad što je bilo, ništa se tu nije menjalo. On je prvi put, znaš, kao krenuo da zove neki ljudi koji su zaista gosti, da kažeš da čuješ i vidiš nešto novo drugačije.
Priču, da. Evo Pablo sin, to sam nešto kao pratio, ali nisam mogao, nešto sam na brate pola, kaže ocrnili mu čale tako da je bio, ne znam nija šta brate, on običan klošar bio.
Ali on nije živeo sa njim. On je otišao sa majkom i to je to.
Kaže, Amerikanci šta su radili, napravili od vrate njega, kaže tamo kao on palio pare da bi kao zagreo sina i vratio kjerku.
Što nije kupio drvo za pare.
Ma ne, nego to oni ti napravili od njega mafijaša kao da je bog zna šta bio, ali kaže Ćale vrate, običan bandit bio, kaže, ko je za Ćaleta, kaže sinu, kaže, nikad ne bi njegovim stopom išao kreten, znao je onda nego što su ovi Amerikanci prebuđili ga ko da je, znaš šta, Pablo. Znaš. Right.
Kill 30 enemies using orbital 120mm head explosion barrage.
Helldiver, the super destroyer is ready for your next mission.
Mission coordinates locked. Hellpods prime.
Bum, bum, bum.
To i dalje ide.
A? Dobro.
To i dalje ide.
No.
Nešto se završilo, čovječe, ili on to je kako se završi, tako novo počne.
Da, i sve isto.
A, moji isti učenici, oni te učesnike nisu menjali od prve, prilike stalno isto možda...
Onaj Kristijan, onaj godina tu, brate, više
da,
neko...
možda vidiš to. Kako para da je, brate, sve to. Samo se teret, brate, šta ti je,
Random reči. Generator, brate, opali i... Kurva, ti ovo... To. Malo što pojedi tamo, ovo... Vitru iz debil. Debilčina, brate, kao vamo na TV-u, kao ovdje. Tamo. Kao, uplaćujem tamo za ekskurziju, ovo ono.
Eto to, ali samo da se vidi onako, znaš. Ne vidi ko da se vidi desno.
Ovamo neće, a ovamo kao i dobro.
Enemy tactical asset within threat range.
Na kojem su to?
Jel su mu parovi prestali, oni su radili?
Da. Vojbi su, jako.
Mislim da sam naleteo, nisam koristio baš dugo te, nisam ni naleteo, znaš, ono da šaltam kanale, pa, znaš, ono kad slušam naletim na to.
Unit hive structure destroyed.
I boje se.
Pa ne, da ono kad šaltaš kanale, pa prelaziš, ono, vrtiš ih i onda slušam i nađeš, vidiš.
Say hello to democracy!
Onda je ovaj časa iz onaj Kite TV-a, to da otvori Starbucks, inače mu ušao na imanje, razvalio se, polomio kebe. Znam iz koje kuhinje dolazi ova čorba, kao da je to mislim iz koje
Marvelous. Welcome to my channel.
Neskjecano.
Have a taste of democracy!
Ne može onda mu uzima publiku i da upati.
For prosperity! I'm out!
Tako mi treba kada ću uštedim raketu.
A, kad da vidi, a? Ovo si sam što
Šestice.
Throwing grenade!
Dolazim da ti pomognem. Ja sam dođem u Street Fighter, ali ajde ti pomoći.
Pa te sam da uradim eventualno daily i da pokupim paranih samplova.
Šta je desno?
120 mm high explosive.
Last reload!
Igraš cijeli dan i razgledati.
O, Snake igra, a sam je rekao da ići u tome.
Sad ti jebam samo ti da mu pomoći.
Ne mogu pomoći svoje sestrice.
Misliš tu vrstu pomoći koju Dracula nudi, jel to?
A, kao loše, dobro, onda nešto bilo.
Neki dođe, šališ što se
Ne, sad ide
Fire in the hole!
A ne, ali sad se tako.
Neću još jedan sladoled, pa neću da vam...
Sad ideš sladoled.
Jedan sladoled sad, dobro. Pa šta ako ga sad jedem, šta?
Pa šta ako gledam?
Brate, ja ne znam.
Kako ne?
Brate, to je za kasnije.
Šta kasnije? Jutro je.
A ono, počeo 5 je.
Počeo 5. Jedin moram ti počeo 5.
Brate, Snake recimo, ti je...
Neću ništa da pričam.
Ti Snake se sam. Gdje je Mila? Mila ne.
Ne traži pomoć od njega, on će sad uradi da kontrira.
Kako mi spir danas, a?
Have a taste of democracy! That's called democracy!
Gledao sam neke varijante da lik pokazuje kao da onaj Air Burst Rocket nije toliko loš, samo što ima kriminalnu dugu animaciju punjenja.
On nije loš za trash, ali ti on ništa ne radi na mediumu i više.
Da, na jačim neprijateljima ne radi ništa. Može Factory Walker da ubije. Navodno. Znaš? Ne znam gdje si ga bacio, ovdje nema ništa. Inače...
Čekaj da radi.
Da.
Sam završio ovdje jaja, a?
A valjda jesi. Nisam vidio.
O, reci Milane, reci sinu Milane.
Sad vidimo kurac, to
Evo
prostiš.
Milanov posao. U generaciju. Ne, ovo šuma.
Kad smo ovdje bit će nešto, neki znak pitanja. Ono pojme šta je.
Kaj je to posao, prekine?
Vidi se mi ovdje. Ući od njih bacam 120 znači.
Calling down a sentry! Requesting advanced weaponry!
Ovo se odlično sa Discorda.
Budala. Ja sam to već skinuo, mogu opet da stavim ako hoćeš.
Evo, skinaš?
Pa naravno sam skinuo, svaki put kad uradi gluposti stavi sliku neko, razumiješ, ja je downloadujem. Svaki put. Ne znam šta misli da to radi.
Nije ovo iz drugog, sad će da.
Get
Nisam došao. Odlično.
Sif. On ni ne vidi se. Prvi put vidim Sif ovako.
Da nenormalni, već. Vidjeli, u shopu imaš avatar, decoration, sve po 10 evra.
Da, vidio se. Pa što su nenormalni? Objasni mi. Ček, stvarno ne znaš. It's all about the money. It's all about the yayo.
Nemo na Facebook, na Discordu pošalji, evo te.
Pošalji na TeamSpeak.
Pošalji na MySpace.
Pošalji na Hot, kako se zove onaj... Nije Hotmail. OnlyFans.
Calling down a support weapon.
Kako sam te rekao, da se možda se nađe, ali cene su...
Bacio sam baraž na Sif, ono što se radi. Živ. Nekako sam živ. Not for long. Not over yet. Jebat, udario me jednom i onda se okrenuo i nokao me drugi put. Ne vjerujem. Sti živ uopšte? Jedva živ. Spao da ga gađaš spirom. Imaš. Ako znaš, ne znaš da spamujem te kutije s municijom. Kad god mogu. Da li sam pogledao snimak? Ne znam šta je to. Penis neki, šta? Fin izgleda penis.
Odnesi ovo.
Tamo već ima dve. Već ih ima. Ma donesi bilo šta, jebat ćemo se ovdje satima. Prva, imaš mini nuk tu. Ima ovdje jedna. Napalm, crvena.
Daj, donesi napalm, neću staviti smok.
Čak i EMP bolje od smoka, znaš, zašto smok ne radi kako treba.
Explosive, idemo mini nuke, imamo taj yield. Static field, ja možda sam trebao static field da otvore. Ajde static izali.
To ti to. Stiže još jedna tura. znam da li je bolje da odemo na objektiv. Ja sam radio inače demo. Ali im toliko velika mapa da mi se sve čini da ako ima oni super sample da su negde tipa na jugu ili bilo pogode. Toliko veliko.
Calling down a sentry.
Found something. Reload it.
New man.
Ja imam šta da s tim.
Hvala je.
Ja imam še bomba ovdje.
I tu. I tu ima municije.
Got a sample.
Ne mogu se zabaviti sample, znate kako da je zagledan tako.
Tu sam bio. Desno nešto od nas. Tu bunker, šta je to?
Bunker.
Calling down supply.
I'm on it. Reloading.
Ubiti samplovi. Imaš još municiju unutra ako prije.
Evo. Palio sam 2 metka iz antimaterial rifle. Taj robot baš voli da te prži, a?
Imamo ovdje ove male, ajde da ih pobijemo ove male na brzinu. Da ne bi zvali pomoć.
Fire in the hole.
Nije to bio plan uopšte.
Reinforcing.
Puklo je tipa kao AOE, znaš? Izgleda da je ulje.
Granata je u pitanju, naravno da je kao... Čekaj, ti putu u ovom bosu.
Ja. Kao što je rekao, markovo si mi, ali to je bio samo jedan mob bukvalno. I granata je pukla prevremeno. Full. Breaker? Regularan breaker, ozbiljno.
Breaki. Sve je ovako dobro, čisto. Brzo ostane bez svijeha.
Requesting sentry. Calling down support weapon.
Navili su mu, aktivirali su mu ovo.
Dobro.
Dole sam.
Heavy. Heavy.
I'm out. Bug tunnel breach.
Smo gubili, jesmo? O. Idu kurac. Otkud ovaj? Otkud ovaj? Pokušavam da ga pogodim, ali ima mnogo treša, znaš.
Bio mi previše blizu za spjela, ali sam sve na pokušao.
Evo ti expendable.
Da.
Gdje je on?
Tu je level 10 ću da ispisati. Ali mislim, pogađam me, ja sam malo da se to.
Mrtav?
Ne, ovo je bio neodlično. Možda skovario?
Ne. Nuk te koknu, ne?
Ne, struje.
Struja? Kroz šta?
Da li skočila od nekoga ili direktno?
Pa vi si za čoška jebote, nisi ni bio u optičku.
Pa pogodiš bubar, pogodi mene od tajnika.
Arkovala je, verovatno.
Pa da. Ovo počistili, evo. Tu će isto neki midini i veliki da budu.
Calling down a support weapon.
Dva.
Heavy on my position.
Dva. Ne verujem da su dva. Dva heavy. Hvala za ovaj boost, nemaš pojma koliko jako. Nije me on ubio me impact. Kad me udario skinuo mi je pola healtha i kako sam bio ragdollovan, ono, kad sam udario stenu, pa ne ga kažem. Kinetička energija udara mi je uzela životnu energiju. Aha.
Prevrnuo se naopako, skrljio naopako, kako se...
Mislim, nisam znao da je singularity tu, da moram da prevodim svaku rečenicu i misao. Za kebab, a?
Ja imam što heavy, ali sve. Nemam ovo.
Imaš, evo ti je dole na podu. Mrtav? Jeste. Izgleda sam otvorio nogu i ubio ga mi travis. Evo ti ga!
Ovo nismo kao čistili.
Nope. Mrtav je.
Jeste.
Šta one shot, evo ti municije za to. Trčim oko toga da mogu da ubacim granatu iz pištolja, ovog granatnog pištolja, ti raspališ.
Dropping a pin, southwest, 100 meters. Liberty, save me! Grenade! I'm out!
Ako si ga gađao spirom, mislim da smo ga stumbali.
Ne, bacio sam orbital strike na ovog gnezdo, pa ajde da se doletimo.
Bija kad ne bi talas dolazili non stop.
Calling down supplies!
Deploying equipment package.
A šta ti pozadi? Supply pozadi?
Requesting orbital!
Aha.
Što tako dole?
Zato što idemo nazad u tom pravcu. Mislim, znaš da smo na severu, tako?
Halo. Neko može da se dronu zapada. Ne znam da li oni ili ja. Razumijem da ga ne čuje.
Mene ne čuješ. 1, 2. Alo! Kad ne pričam tečko ćeš me čuti, znaš.
A si mi čuo do sada da sam vam pričao?
Ja, moram li da klimam glavom svaki put kad A to ti je CPU bug neki, gledao sam za igru.
Znaš na koliko nešto ćeš nešto i rekao da ću mi nešto da bude.
Nije nešto.
Ja, evo ga, čarš.
Requesting sentry. Requesting advanced weaponry.
Šta je preblizu bio?
Da, 30 metara je preblizu. Jao, i šta sad?
I'm out.
Mrtav?
Nije, ali otvorio sam ga.
I treći. I četvrti. Ili dvojica trče oko mene. Nešto nije u redu, znaš.
Ispalio sam, ali ne znam sam. Map pokazuje 3.
Boga mi.
Ej, ne vidimo ništa, znači ne možemo se dogovoriti. Ajmo.
Dva.
Završi neki generalni plan.
Heavy, on my position.
Ovo je bilo ludilo, buluj. Isuse, šta bio?
Tagging map, west, 100 meters.
Kako 100 metara?
Calling down a sentry.
Evo ti municija ovdje.
Tražimo li supply, ovdje sam se ga bacio, ali...
Zato što ima cooldown, ako ga ne iskoristiš i čuvaš, neće nikad biti na cooldown. To je moja filozofija.
Zar nije bolje da ga imaš kako treba?
Ako stalno imam municije, neće mi trebati nikad.
To sad nisu imali.
Evo, već sam ti objasnio da sam ga bacio, zato što ne mogu da ga tražim. Imaš 2 charge ovdje, 2 kutije.
Ne, uzi, našao sam.
Jedini je fazon što ga nikad nema markovnog mapi, to malo ide na kurac, ali dobro. Možeš da baciš nešto pored njega da bi provalio da te je tu.
Da imaš nešto bitno pored njega.
Da. Nema ovdje ništa više.
Dropping a pin, southeast.
Mislim ima charge, to vidim.
Tunnel breach. I'm out.
Sam ga pogodio?
Requesting advanced weaponry.
Ja jesmo, mi smo pogodili sa stvarno.
Jesam sa AT-em, ali evo tek sad je pao.
Rare sample acquired.
Idem namo i hit jedan.
Kako ti promašen?
Šta nuk bacio?
Calling down a sentry.
Htjel da je bomb pukao negdje, a?
Say hello.
Ajmo na treći. Ajmo stalno dolaze ove patrolove, ćemo da bijemo satima.
Tagging map. Southeast. Far.
Jap, far. Far je vjerojatno preko 300 metara, 400.
Get some. Get some.
Pa ekstrakt je odmah pored. To sam bio kontao da zadnje obiđem. Ode mapu, jedva da se krećem. Ajde. Ajde, jug.
Manje sam to nego što ništa ne vidiš. Znači, gotovim ovi breaker isto nije bio loš u svoje vreme, ali sjebali su mu toliko ovoj municije, znači 20 mu treba, pa ja ne znam šta daje. Znači, ovih 13 šotova je malo.
Freedom requires fire. Deploying support weapon. Throwing supply beacon. Deploying equipment package.
Ovo mi se učinilo kao da je to, ali nije, da se tako izgledali iz daljine.
Neki beacon bit će, to beacon? Jest.
Ne znam, gdje se
Jeste, jedva se vidi, osvjetljenje tako. Heavy. Jao. Možeš odbiti cannon tamo ili spear.
Imam spear i orbital, imam sve.
Možda bilo bolje si bio nekom brdu, ovo je nisko previše. Mrtav.
Requesting sentry. Calling down a support weapon.
Gun. Give me the gun.
Ne ispitio me dalje.
Pa ako si maksovan, ne znači ti ništa.
Čekaj ga tamo, mislim da je ono plavi objektiv ispred nas. Ili imaš ove svoje da ga razneseš?
Šta, i ti rakete? Bilo je nas za 3.
Mislio sam da je nešto drugo.
Spor. Mislim na spor. Bug bridge. Bez ovoga sam mogao. Evo bombe bacam. Ej, izađite sad. Treba izbuba smo pobjeli tamo. Eško ja neki izađi.
Calling down support weapon.
6 minuta. Stižem, mislim.
Ne bih htio bacim orbital u to sranje.
Orbital.
Sad ću orbital za objective. Čuću ga za objective.
Orbital incoming. Orbital
barrage incoming. Pa ti si bacio ovdje, a?
Ni ne vidim šta je, bacio sam ga samo.
Bacio si ovdje, da nešto. Ja sam ću ja isto orbital za objective. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118, 119, 1
Grenade! Calling down a sentry!
Buba. Gdje?
Nekako bu...
Mhm.
Čarđ, da?
Ne vidi se od magla, ali tu je.
Aha. Je pogodio ga, jebi ga bio protiv.
Ima tu dve rakete.
A, to je.
Marking location. South.
Sending down equipment package.
Heavy. On my position.
Requesting advanced weaponry!
Heavy. Southeast.
Vidi se, bar imamo artiljerijist.
Reloading! Rare sample acquired.
I'm very disappointed.
Vidio vas nikakva duša dala da ti charger zleti za jednu gluštinu. Point blank.
How'd you like the taste of freedom?
Evo ih spore. Dobro si vidio.
Say hello to the...
Ne mogu, brati, ja... Uskočio sam među 10 buba. Među 10 buba sam bio. Hvala. I znaš da me vetar nosi, ne mogu da... ni levo ni desno, znaš. Heavy bubo, gledaj, da. Hvala.
O ne.
Kao rekao, bacio si me, ali sam odletao u stranu.
Joining the fray. Reinforcing! Calling down a support weapon! Throwing supply!
Ne znam, stvorio sam jedno 4...
Možda najbolje sjek da roknemo tamo.
To je tamo.
Mnogo ovih kao malo jačih buba, znaš. U šta sam se zaglavio, bre? Na kurac, stojim na kameru, ne mogu da maknem, ni levo ni desno. Ja se izvinjam, ali stvarno mi na kurac ide neka. Znači na piksel skačem i ne mogu nigdje da idem. Evo kuracaš.
Dropping a pin. Southwest, 100 meters.
Naruči onaj municiju ako još.
Ne može.
38 sekundi. Ne možeš stići.
Calling in reinforcements. Requesting advanced weaponry.
A gdje misliš da sam ja bio? Objasni mi. Jesi da se vratio po one jaja? Ne? Pa znaš šta smo došli da uradimo? Ti si uništio... Da, ja sam se vratio nazad sa granatnim pištoljem, nismo završili. Uništio si Spewer, ja sam bio vratio da uništim 5-6 jaja. I onda je pisalo mission completed. A ti si pre toga obećao... Ne, ti si pre mene bio si blizu izlaza. Ja nisam bio ni blizu, jer sam bio kod jaja. Bio sam 200 metara daleko od toga. Kako mogu da te pozovem?
Ma da, jebati wild item sad ovdje.
Nema ga, čitu misiju ga nema.
Da, i sad se stvorio da od nikuda, znači još ga ne vidim kod ovog sranja. Znaš kako ovo sranje dolazi, kad dolazi, nemoj da vidiš tamo uopće.
Znam, minut jedan imaš. Da reši mi da više hodam i idem između ovih. Ne vidim. Bukvalno ništa ne vidim. Udaram mapu da vidim gdje sam, jer nema nikakav orijentir.
Dobro večer, kada kaže Ma da, sina čisto. Šta ovo, ko nam niko je stavlja ove? Boris me,
ne može Boris, može Neša i...
Ako je ćirilično, onda je Nenad. Ako je latinično, Boris. Da, vidim. Rekao da je ovo dobra ideja! Jesi vidio? Prvo vidiš ko je aktivan na kanalu, znaš?
Je li Sherlock?
Pa ne vidim ono sa strane. Show member list.
Koga boli kurac, iskreno.
Zapravo...
Piše Draco ili Asperger, znaš koliko je... Znaš koliko me je to... Znaš koliko me to uživo?
Neko očigledno masturbira po mene, znaš, ali to je dobro.
Ne znam što smo bili, on sve, ali brate, znači ovo kad ti smanji da ne vidiš 2 metra. Dok ne dođe u donac da može da te udari, ti ga ne vidiš.
A čekaj, kako meni ništa ne može? Ja mogu samo sebe da koja je poenta to?
Mogu, ne, vidi. To što ti je promijenjeno ti samo na tom kanalu, razumiješ?
Ne, evo na serveru čitam, evo i ovdje sam sad promijenio.
Šesto kila, otkud 600 kila?
Da, 10 klika sebe, edit server profile.
Bravo, Drakovan.
Iaaaa!
Jep.
Nickname mi neko menja.
Neki pedar.
Sad.
capacity, 16, čekaj, koliko ima capacity plazma? 8, samo 8, jebem ti, van rate 80, dobro, to je okej. Kako to fantastična uloga, a?
A? Onaj peder njegov.
Kecmane.
Rubi!
Ja idem uskoro na posao. Ostavljam vas sa tim botom koji menja nickname.
A nešto, pa ko drugi može, znači samo oni...
Kaže nisam ja. No,
Ja
dobro,
ti nije,
okej.
on to tako skriveno.
Nema.